voting no on D.
Still on a fade. God. So much shit going on right now. Alright. I'm not convinced that this is gonna work. But I'll try. I tried doing a 4 gigabyte memory patch that seemed to prevent the game from running at all. So, I haven't even tested this, but it does look like it's the proper resolution. It does look like it's above 30 FPS. So those are good things. And it doesn't look like it's caring too... No. Alright. Well, until it crashes, I'm gonna... Fuck, sure, just use a fucking item, who cares? None of this matters. Until it crashes, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that we're in the clear. Alright, well I couldn't get into Final Fantasy XIV because I waited too long to queue. So here we are. Playing Final Fantasy XIII. I'm resuming my save file that I started months ago. In Chapter 4, I suppose. Let's check the old data log and see what's going on in Final Fantasy XIII time. Zaz and Vanille decide against joining Lightning and her vendetta against the Sanctum, though doing so leaves them without a road to follow. It seems all they can do is keep running, and then there is Hope to worry about, but he'll surely grow tired of the fighting and make his way home, won't he? Zaz also harbors another fear, with the entirety of Cocoon in an uproar over the recent Pulse activity. Any incident involving Lassie could spark a full-scale panic. After all, not even Zaz can shake his dread of the lower world. Okay, so... Let's, my desk is a mess right now. There's just shit everywhere. Okay. Final Fantasy XIII, and my light's off. This is a game where there are mysterious techno-gods. And these gods randomly brand people as their champions. They give them like a sweet, like borderline tribal looking tattoo because this game came out in like the late aughts. So this god, a Fal'Cie, gives you a charge, like a quest you have to fulfill. If you don't fulfill it, once you're branded, you become a Lassie. Once you're branded, you have to figure out what your quest is. And if you actually do it, which is weird because you're given zero guidance on what they want you to do, then you turn into a crystal. That's your reward. If you don't do it, you turn into a zombie. Yeah, Fal'Cie make Lassie, and Lassie make magic, and people hate them for some reason. Well, magic, I thought, came from these techno-gods. And people are very, very worried about that because they don't understand it, and there's a government that sort of controls the messaging around it. So, in the realm of 13, we all live in something called Cocoon, or we're in Cocoon right now, which is this sort of like floating space station sort of thing, and there is a techno-god stuck inside of it. And that techno-god, the magic that it radiates out, is sort of what powers and feeds this society. And inside this society, everyone is told that the world outside of Cocoon, which is this planet called Pulse, or Grand Pulse, is a savage land filled with unstoppable monsters and vicious hordes. So essentially, you're dealing with like full-on government control. They've locked down this sort of magical entity. They control the flow of energy, and then they create propaganda to kind of keep everybody well within their boundaries. It sounds pretty cool. None of this is communicated to you in the game, nor is it even really showed to you. What instead they show you is a bunch of melodrama with characters whose motivations don't make sense, and decisions don't make sense. That's what the game's about. So, yeah, there are a bunch of techno-gods, that's true, but the game's events start with the discovery of a new one. A new one sort of pops out of nowhere, and since the populace is convinced that these gods are savage and unknowable, which is kind of true, they're freaking out. Anyway, so all of the party members ran into a techno-god. They all got branded as Lassie, or like, sort of unwilling avatars of this god. So essentially they are marked people in the society now. They are not allowed to walk around in polite society. People will freak out and think that they're terrorists, basically. And then I have to remember how to play this too. So, yeah. This is one of the first games to implement a stagger system, which I think it deserves a lot of credit for. Oh yeah, it's... Blah. Okay, whatever. Sure. That's a nice way to be welcomed back to the game. Yeah, Anthrax, the combat is rad in 13. At least it gets that way. It is really smart what they did with this game, because they basically distilled the decision making of a typical Final Fantasy ATB based combat system into its like most salient elements and made that the game. It's not necessarily about you choosing to attack every time. It's about you choosing your party comp and kind of dictating the momentum and pace of the battle. So yeah, there's a surprising amount of good ideas in here. The story is surprisingly cool, if you ever can actually understand it.
Time to get serious.
I don't necessarily have an issue with incomprehensible plots. I'm more confused at the. This game makes bizarre choices about what to show you and when. So okay, somebody's asking about the stagger system. Nui. Okay, so here's how this game works. There are two DPS roles, Commando and Ravager. Actually, I should take that a step back. I'm trying to think of where to start with this. So, the game is not necessarily designed for you to manually give your characters commands. You can, and in certain situations it is important to do that. But it's not oh, that's right, and if you do too. Anyway, so when you can basically change your character's jobs on the fly in combat with something called the paradigm system. And that's what you see here, Commando, Ravager, all that shit. Okay, good. I will be able to break him, I think. If you do damage fast enough to an enemy, you see this meter in the top right, it is topped out, and now this enemy is staggered. Which means I could do more damage to it. The way that you stagger them kind of changes based on different enemies. The basic approach to staggering is that hits from a Commando will make the staggered gauge drain slower, and hits from Ravagers will fill it faster. So you have to balance seeing how fast the gauge is draining versus laying on DPS with Ravagers to actually get it to fill up and stagger. Your party members will automatically choose to use the sorts of spells that enemies are weak against once you've scanned them. Like, once you know the weakness, they'll automatically use it. And you have to balance that. You have to balance that with keeping your party healed, with keeping your party buffed and the enemies debuffed, and with making sure that you stagger at the right times, because staggers can interrupt big attacks. So, there's a couple of final nuances to the paradigm system. One is that the first time you change paradigm, it takes a while. It has this, like, animation that plays. I'll show it to you in a second. Or maybe I just need to do it twice. The other thing, like, the first time you switch, there's, like, a bit of a time penalty. The other thing is, once you've done 2 turns in a particular paradigm, and you switch, your ATB gauge will be full. So that's a way to sort of get more turns and more quickly. So I have to switch. I did 2 turns, so my shit should be full, which means Vanille switching to Medic will get heals right off the top. And since Zaz is a Commando, it'll hopefully keep the stagger gauge from draining too fast while I heal. Now I can switch back to Ravager. Both my party members will have full ATB, and they go right into casting. So, that's the idea behind the combat system. It is about managing sort of meta resources, and sort of thinking about turns in advance. Oh yeah, D-shell. Getting interrupted. Not really a reason to do this.
We got this, Vanille. Did you see that coming?
kind of like another battler? Yeah, actually, yes. Big Narnar. What you see in this game has been used in tons of action RPGs since. The whole concept, I realize in retrospect, it really was this game that sort of came up with this dual system of having HP but also a stagger gauge that if you manage properly gives you like a big DPS window. I want to play 13 right now, but I'm 286. No! Stay in line! The only reason I'm doing this is because the queue was 8,000 wide for Endwalker. You could bet your ass I'd be playing Endwalker right now if I had any chance of logging in before I had to fall asleep. Still looks really pretty. It does look really pretty, but I had to massage it a little bit. This game by default is not great. Not on PC. Because PC ports back then were tragic. They were all bad. But luckily, a fine member of chat pointed me to some good fixes last time I played this. So, I think I got pretty much everything. The only thing that's a bit rough is that I think it's still limited to 2 gigabytes of RAM. There was a 4 gigabyte patch, kind of like New Vegas actually, that can make the game run a little more stable, especially at higher resolutions. Oh shoot, I shouldn't be. I don't know if the bombs will detonate on their own or if you have to hit them first. Oh, nope, they do detonate on their own. Great. Well, hopefully this doesn't kill. Just die already. Jesus, nobody's impressed. Okay. It did kill her. And I don't... He doesn't have medic, so he can't heal himself. There you go. See, like, it can actually be a pretty hair trigger sometimes. And then I swapped there before doing 2 rounds, so my ATB wasn't full. Did you miss a 2DX stream? No, Seafood. I really wanted to do one, but man, life just keeps getting in the way. Everything in this world takes like 3 times as long as it should. And it keeps me from playing sweet music games. I mean, I was looking at my schedule and it's getting chopped away at tomorrow too. I was like, I'm gonna play Halo Infinite and Final Fantasy XIV. Now I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be able to stream at all, because I gotta go to the dentist, which is a worthwhile execution or a worthwhile endeavor. But I'm also working on an expose, a full report for Inside Games. So I'm gonna be doing some interviews and stuff tomorrow to work on some actual real reporting. So, lots of stuff on the horizon. None of which is me decomposing in a seat playing Final Fantasy XIV like I had hoped. So my laundry just finished, and I need to do laundry too. Have I ever played League of Legends? Yes, once, and I played it in 2010, and I hated it so much. I hated it so much that it has poisoned me against really enjoying anything connected to it ever again. I'm sure Arcane is a wonderful show. I cannot care. That game sucked so bad. Ugh. I've never been more resentful of a game and its player base. And it really has never left. I've mellowed on it a little bit. But nah. No thanks. Never. Never again. Didn't you only play League against Achievement Hunter? No, that was a different MOBA. I played League on my own. Because I was a young and fresh gamer and said, you know what? I'm gonna figure this MOBA thing out. If everyone likes it, there must be something great here. But no, it was just toxicity and, in my opinion, needlessly complicated gameplay mechanics. Absolutely absurdly complicated gameplay mechanics. It's wild to me that people will call out things like like, you know, like Halo's monetization. And meanwhile, you log into League and you see a fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 2 grid of characters, each of which has their own abilities, and if you don't know them, you will get fucked. It's just an outrageous amount of memorization required to even be remotely competitive in that game. And how can you learn them if you don't have them? You just, like, your only option is to just throw yourself into the grinder and let enemy champions run wild on you. I mean, this was 2010. I'm sure they've gotten better at, like, telegraphing this is a lot of enemies. I don't know that I can handle this. They've gotten better about telegraphing certain things about the game. I'm sure. I mean, most games have. At, like, communicating what a route looks like. Communicating... Anyway. It hasn't, lol. Yeah, there's just more legends. What really blew my mind in 2010 was that I didn't see any, like, unifying visual design to communicate to you, the player, what the hell was going on. And there was like stealth, there was rooting, there was slowdowns, there were like 3 million status effects. And each champion had their own little twist and their own little mechanic, which I guess from a design sensibility is pretty neat. But from getting your ass kicked by, like, shitty 12-year-olds that say like, losing is not bad. I can lose games and be largely okay with it. But I had multiple games in League where, like, I would vote to forfeit and my team would not because they were pissed at me for being bad. And they were like, no, you get to sit here and sit and suffer. Like, when your own teammates are like prolonging your suffering, and it's like they weren't helping me learn. Of course not. I remember, like, talking. I was like 45 minutes deep into one of the worst video game experiences I've ever had. And I was just like because I had just basically given up. I was just in chat, kind of trying to talk to people and be like, why, like, what am I doing wrong? And somebody, at least they said it in words, they straight up said, if you're not already good, don't play. We don't want you here. And I was like, great, deal. Bet, my man. I'm uninstalling this shit and never looking back. So, yeah. I have to admit, to some degree, I'm kind of shocked that it's grown up into what it is. But I think that's just because it was free to play. And again, I know it's not the same people, but it blows my mind that something like League just operates with its model. And then people lose their fucking minds. I guess it's just different audiences. Yeah, the only winning move is not to play. That's pretty much how I feel. Yeah. And I've had a great time not playing League or any other MOBA. Smite was okay. Smite was okay. I don't know. I massively prefer 1v1 competitive games.
Follow the old man's lead.
It's possible that somewhere out there is a satisfying competitive team-based game, but in my experience, it's like either you inherit running diplomacy, like if you want to have a satisfying experience in any team-based game, it's like you not only have to be good, and you not only have to work well with others, but you also have to learn how to de-escalate people who lose their fucking minds for no reason. Yeah, Jetpack. Also, the idea that games at minimum are 30 minutes long, and they can be decided in the first 4 or 5 minutes. I also took serious exception to the snowball mechanic of League, or any MOBA. The fact that players who get early picks are then more capable of killing you faster because they out-level you. So it's like, I don't understand that shit. Like, at least keep it neutral. If a team scored in football, and then they let everyone on that team, like, do a hit of Coke or something, or just, like, chug a Red Bull, and then the game kept going, like, that's just fucked game design. That was just purely, like, people just love to level, so let's give them the leveling curve over and over and over again. That's kind of what it felt like was the whole game design decision. People love seeing their little character go bong, so we need to come up with a mechanic that allows people to level. But, like, And again, I guess this is what the surrender mechanic is for, when you can tell it's just a runaway. But like I said, I had multiple games where I would surrender and no one else would, because the enemy team loves the stomp, and your team just like is just fucking, they're all just spiteful children. I don't know. Anyway. There. Said my piece on League, I guess. That's why I actually, when I first started playing Overwatch, I really appreciated everything they did to prevent giving people ammunition to be toxic.
We gotta sleep
Like the way that they kind of massaged the stats, the way that they kind of showed the results screens, play of the game stuff. Like, I was like, I get it. You're trying to prevent people from slipping into this mode where they're out for themselves and they yell at their own teammates, and I think that is an art. His own, like, manipulating audiences to not be shitheads is something that I still see in modern, like Battlefield 2042. You can see it. I still think, topical, the #1 game, Final Fantasy XIV. And granted, it's PvE largely. I mean, the PvP is like, everyone agrees that it's not really a meaningful addition to the game.
Do not cross this line. Understood?
But even for a PvE game, I really appreciate all the mechanical aspects. Oh, you can see his little.
And good night again.
It's like a little chest hair poking out.
You just go to sleep already.
Thoughts on WoW players migrating to Final Fantasy XIV? No thoughts, really. I mean, it's been my MMO of choice for a while. Oh, so you got a little bubble, got a little sleep bubble. It doesn't surprise me that the aspects that I really enjoyed resonate with other people. I can get why people probably would not jump on it to begin with. Oh, the ARAMs? Yeah. I accidentally pressed a button and flew out of the map and got killed. Everyone thought it was funny, and everyone talked throughout the match, and we had fun. That was the only good experience out of all the matches from level 1 to 30. Jeez. Yeah, I remember ARAM wasn't there when I tried to play, but they added it like a year after I gave up on it. And this is when League really started to blow up, started to like hit mega mainstream. And then I remember talking to some people about like, here's why I don't like League. And then they were like, bro, you should try ARAM. And I was like, okay. So it gives me one of like
couldn't run if you wanted to.
300 random champions, which I also don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's sort of like the fighting game conundrum compounded by a million. If you go into a random fighting game, you're not going to know any of the characters. You might learn yours, but it's, you know, it's through learning and through getting hit that you learn what each fighter can do.
What's under the hood of that thing?
Keep your pants on.
I guess it's just the blow up problem in League. People learn the combos, so if you don't know an enemy champion, you get tagged with one skill, you're dead. It fucking sucks. I don't get it. And I know that escapes and disengages are like a whole mechanic, but
Shaky boy, aren't you?
I don't know.
We'll see how
It's a game explicitly designed for people with unlimited time. And I don't know. I had unlimited time, and even I was like, my time is more valuable than this. If someone gets mad at you for being bad in ARAM, then they shouldn't be playing ARAM. Yeah, you know, it's like the arcade mode in Overwatch or whatever, but it's a good idea to help people gain familiarity with various champions and stuff. And on a fundamental level, I still didn't even like the interface of League. Like the clicking,
He's come to meet you.
it's a holdover from it being a Warcraft 3 mod. There's no reason for you to control that way. And again, games like Smite kind of gave you more direct control over your character. Tried any of the other Riot properties? Nah, no thanks. I mean, the depth of my resentment for League crosses over to everything Riot Games makes. It's one of the few companies, based on a small experience, that I still am openly derisive of.
Thanks for the escort.
I did see that they put out that turn-based JRPG from the people who made Night Chasers, and I really liked that game. That was a really good RPG. But then again, all the reviews just say it's a reskin of Battle Chasers. Night Chasers Battle War? Something like that. Anyway, there's plot happening.
I'd hardly be alone if I did. When it comes to Pulse, who could claim to know anything? I need the truth for the sake of Cocoon.
Umbra, I had Bait and Kaitos for GameCube.
From Cocoon.
I bought it, and I played it for like 4 hours. And it was one of those that I always told myself I'd go back to, but then I didn't.
Those are the Sanctum's methods.
That was,
The public
wasn't that
fears
Monolith?
what it doesn't know. It's grown tired of living in constant terror of these
I
threats
defend the
from
clicking. It
world
opens up
below.
more movement options than you would
So,
think.
the Sanctum devised a plan for you, Lassie.
Hermes, I will bet that you understand that mechanic far more deeply than I do.
The people don't know any better.
So,
Strike down the phantoms before their eyes, and they sleep like babes.
frozen waffles. Thanks for the prime.
The Sanctum has intelligence on the other Lassie already. It's only a matter of time.
You'll never catch them.
I see. We'll need your help then, won't we?
I think this has the best soundtrack of any Final Fantasy. There's some good shit in there. I would say 14, but that's also kind of a cheat because it's like 5 amazing soundtracks all packed into one. Oh yeah, flashback.
You're kidding, right?
I mean it.
You can't drop the breakup bomb like that. Being alone's all right, I guess. Yep. Always was until we met.
Here, I'm gonna... Right.
Then we did. And now I know there's something better. Being with you.
This is back when Troy Baker got cast and they were just like, just talk. Your voice is great, just talk.
Your choice.
You really want to leave me?
I don't want to. I have to. Listen, it's over.
14 is a banger, but I was mostly thinking single player ones.
Stay away from me.
What
I
happened?
mean, I kind of treat 14 like a big old single player game, but I understand. It's a service game, so.
Just say it.
Oh, Mikey, thank you for the prime. They were a teeny bit too early for the side ponytail. That actually became micro fashionable in like the middle 2010s. This game is very fashion forward too with all the character designs because they don't look remotely like they belong in this world.
By pulse.
You know, they're all very clean and they all have like very impractically shaped clothing.
Enemy of Cocoon.
That's the other weird thing is like this story has notes of like
To us all.
government control. It has like fucking genocides and shit. But the characters are all these pristine anime dolls.
You're my enemy.
Wasn't there a Prada line? Yeah. There were some like fashion spreads that Lightning did. I think it was Prada. Six, 7, and 15 have considerably better / more iconic soundtracks than this game. The tracks by themselves are really good. I just don't think they're linked with anything very emotional in the game. And in that regard, I think 6, 7, and 15, like they land those moments a lot better. Maybe not 15. People really sleep on 15's soundtrack.
Sarah.
I'm trying to I remember some of the field music, but I don't remember a whole lot more. Monish B, thank you for the prime. 15, I have 15 installed because I've wanted to replay it too. But yeah, I mean this just, I can like see the single for 2,800 yen of this song or whatever. 13 did feel like they were really trying to tee up a huge like media property. It felt like the episode 1 of Final Fantasy games. Which is weird because Final Fantasy XII aesthetically looks a lot closer to episode 1. I bet there's treasure over here. 100% run. I'm 4,000 in queue right now for 14. The stream is my anchor. Yeah, I checked the queue earlier because I wanted to play, and I was like 7,500. I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Not tonight.
Nah, she hasn't been by here.
Does it look like a PS2 game? Well, I mean, it was a PS3 game, so not too far off. I don't know, though. You might want to plug your PS2 back in if you think this is what it looked like. But yeah, it doesn't have bloom. Actually, it might. Look at those high-resolution shadows, though. This is a nice-looking bar. Got here. Whoa, the camera really likes zipping around. Thanks for that. Any more wrinkles in the clothes? I mean, Snow's little coat flaps around. That's pretty exciting. Also, I'm gonna call this out. I had Snow's do-rag in Final Fantasy XIV when I first started playing, but I've since switched back to that big caterpillar pompadour. Oh, here we go. Is that a bread box? Why does it have a giant crank wheel on the side? Gotta go crank the loaf. Boy, that sounds like a euphemism. Babe, we got company coming over. Crank up the bread, please. Oh, I think it's... You probably put stuff in that top chute and then you, like, grind it? But then it just kind of falls out in that bottom reservoir? What the heck is that? Ice machine? Oh, yeah, it might be an ice machine. Like you put a cup under there and... Yeah, I think you're right. What's your favorite Final Fantasy? Again, a cheat, but 14. But if you want like a traditional single-player one... I think I have to say 6, but at this point I'm ready to acknowledge that it was because of the time that I played it. And I think also its context in games. I don't think there were some games that had some pretty vaulted ideas in the Super Nintendo era. But none that had, like, chemical warfare and, like, a lot of the adult themes that happened in 6. And story told pretty well, too, given how rickety some translations were at the time. Yeah, 9 is probably, like, the quintessential Final Fantasy, which is why I'm just loving Fantasian up and down. I don't think we'll ever have another game like Final Fantasy VI again. Lost Odyssey. Straight up. Lost Odyssey is really just an HD Final Fantasy VI. But yeah, but 9 is just pure. I haven't played 9 in forever either. There's that Moguri mod waiting for me too.
You and Sarah have a fight? I don't mean to be insensitive, but if you get that upset just talking about breaking up, it's no wonder it happened.
14 has broken my heart story-wise more than any other Final Fantasy. I've gotten a little welled up, gotten a little misty playing 14 here and there. Shadowbringers was really, really special. And I have a friend that's way ahead of me in the story, and she's been like sending me spoiler-free all caps reactions on Discord, and that's been nice. I made the dumb mistake of doing a bunch of side quests. Boy, did that slow you down. But it's fun. Some of the side quests are pretty cute in Endwalker so far. Dude, I did this event last night, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I am impressed how far they're sort of mechanically pushing the tools they have and the scripting tools to create like different kinds of story events. I haven't, in Endwalker so far, there hasn't been a single story mission that's like, go kill 10 blanks.
What is your focus?
I don't think I've played a single quest like that.
You have a focus, right?
It's really impressive.
With you. Help.
Just how diverse all their story objectives and how good they've gotten at sort of
No.
masking the MMO pastiche of all the activities they ask you to do.
No matter what, we've come too far to quit now.
Already getting my relics? Oh, have they already unlocked the relic quest lines?
I don't know.
Oh, also speaking of JRPGs,
I'm gonna be a
since I started replaying Chrono Cross, a lot of people have mentioned the
If I'm here,
crossover event with Another Eden.
protect you.
Another Eden is pretty rad too. If you want another Chrono game, it's Another Eden.
Peace out.
I already got to there being time travel, and there's like a ton of like wink wink, elbow to the ribs nods to the Chrono series in Another Eden. It's by the same scenario writer, same director. Mitsuda does music for it. The battle system is not very Chrono yet.
say.
It has that cross flavor though. It is like kind of half gotcha when there's like hundreds of JRPG characters to recruit.
Don't worry.
But yeah, and it's free, and it's on Steam,
Blessed with
and it's got cross save with mobile. So
You wouldn't call it eternity.
check it out. I was actually playing it while I was waiting in the queue on Sunday.
always be together.
Yeah, passable chrono entry. That's a good way to describe it. I'm not very far yet, but how do you feel about Shin Megami Tensei? I've played a few of them, and they never really grabbed me. I played Nocturne, which is, you know,
Nothing would
it's
have changed.
not one of the mainline ones. Played 4 a little bit.
Brave enough to face it.
How many hours into the game are you? I'm 8 hours in and still getting tutorial prompts for another Eden? Sarah looks like a baby compared to Snow. She's a demure Japanese woman. Oh, Gypsy Danger. Well, that's a cool name. I played Legend and Secret of Mana. Yeah, recently. I played them both to gear up for like the remake they did of Seiken Densetsu 3, and then I didn't play the Trials of Mana, which everyone says is dope as hell. So.
Slow down pursuit.
Oh, 13. I see.
Aren't there troops?
I'm in chapter
Relax just yet.
4 or 5.
We press on. I'll take point. You watch our backs.
You'll be getting tutorials for the first 20 hours or so.
Actually, why don't you let me take point?
This game is very skittish about throwing players into the deep end. It's weird. It is sort of a vaulted Final Fantasy type game in its mechanics,
Can or can't.
but it assumes that no one has ever played an RPG before, or played a video game before.
Keep your eyes front. I'll watch the rear.
Got it.
I think at the dawn of Gen 7, there was just general confusion about how much experience you could assume the player had coming into your game. And there was certainly not a whole lot of best practice knowledge established yet about the pace at which players could grasp concepts you feed them. And to be fair to 13,
Got your back.
it does wallop you with, like, it puts you right in the middle of a wacky setting that they don't explain. And then they intentionally obfuscate it. Like, the dialogue in this game isn't great, so it wouldn't be the worst if somebody just came up with a reason to lore dump like every other narrative ever. I think that'd be pretty forgivable. But instead they just don't tell you things. If you read all the text recaps, then that gives you a lot more background about what's actually going on and the stakes of the story. Yeah, final hallway. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because most Final Fantasy games are hallways. They're just better about hiding it. I really, I guess 12 was pretty open, but the dungeons are still somewhat linear. Do I scan these guys? I haven't. Final Fantasy games are bizarre because, like, early on in the game, and a lot of JRPGs do this, they throw you into the world map, and it gives you the illusion that you can go anywhere. But often you can't. Not until you get a boat, and even then you can only go to one place. And then when you get the airship, then you can go anywhere, but that's like in the third act of the game.
It's a guide to keep us moving in the right direction.
Those stars are really oddly shaped. Yeah, there's some HUD elements that I think are stretched, which is weird because this game was made in the widescreen era, so I don't know why that is.
Go chasing after enemies. It's a surefire.
There's, like, truly, there were some awkward games that came out at the advent of widescreen and HD. Nobody knew what the fuck they were doing yet. You know, Japanese devs least of all. They really struggled for a while. They seem to have their bearing again, which is great. But man, there were a few years there. Like, I remember not only were Japanese developers kind of struggling to be able to make games at the scale and the pace that they needed to, but Western players started to get weirdly resentful of Japanese games. I think it's because they were seen as being dominant for so long. But then you had companies like Epic and BioWare making Gears of War and Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and all of a sudden this seemed like it was the new wave. So I don't know, weird moment.
Behind you.
Weird periods of transition. Little Square Enix will not give up on the cut off pants. Remember Chadley from 7 Remake reminded me a lot of Hope. Put that boy in dungarees.
Have you ever been here before? On duty, I mean.
Oh, Super Green Miner.
No.
Thanks for the resub.
I haven't.
I still think
This
AAA
area is
game
covered
devs
by
are
the Woodlands
regressing.
Observation Battalion. You see
It's... I can understand that and would agree with it even from a certain perspective. I think it's just the games industry settling down into the exact same market forces that have dictated creative output in every other field that's more than 2 decades
I
old.
want it back.
Lightning.
It only makes sense for a project that has more money, more investment, and a bigger
I
team
followed you.
to naturally take less risks.
I would have had no chance.
So AAA is getting better at not only identifying the mechanics that people demonstrate they want through the time that they spend and the money they spend, but also getting better, I think, at even predicting what people are going to want when the game lands. Because you have to start a game, and then it hits like 3 or 4 years later, so you got to be pretty good at predicting.
Trust me to cover your tail. And stay focused.
All those MOBAs that hit just a little too late. Shriveled on the vine. But yeah, now Ubisoft has basically mined the well, or sucked the well dry of like open world single player MMO games. So I guess games of service is next.
No holding back.
And man, the thing is, like, this has happened forever. I mean, in the 80s, it was mostly just people making like weird video game knockoffs of action films and stuff. That's what Contra was, you know? Any Kojima game. I guess the best ones had their own mechanics that made them interesting, but thematically, yeah. Yeah, so Death Stranding is unique in that regard. Not only because it did something aesthetically different, but it did something mechanically different too. It's one of the few times that an original, untested idea gets a full budget, and I don't know, that just doesn't happen much. Even when the game came out, I was like, this game is unique
You're doing fine.
in more ways than you think.
Get up.
Not only is the story nonsensical, but they're just, like, Sony may be the last company willing to do that. Nintendo will still put lots of money behind big, weird, artistic swings. Although their art is more in the weirdness of their gameplay and not necessarily the profundity of their worlds. But it's, you know, again, like I said, it's just truly the same path that nearly every other form has taken. You know, the big movies rarely take risks. You're not going to have a Marvel movie like hit you with some deep thoughts. That's not why people go to them. And I think, honestly, the same thing can be said of a AAA game.
Lots of enemies.
If you want a big, stupid game, you probably just want some, like, one-dimensional fantasy fulfillment, or just to, like, blow off some steam in between shifts. It's fine for games to be that. And I think if, and this is me talking to myself as much as I am anyone else, but if you want to find the daring projects, they're there. But expecting those to also be the big budget ones coming from companies that have staffs of over thousands of people, it just doesn't make sense. Are we gonna return to 14? I doubt it. I can check the queue, but I don't think.
Way to go.
Let's about 45 minutes ago, maybe like an hour ago, the queue was 7,000 deep on my server. So
Be ready for the next fight.
yeah, Disco Elysium is very daring. Not like that's one of those perfect storm games where it tries something new. I mean, you could air quotes new, but it is sort of the ultimate implementation of the CRPG system with storytelling that is for adults. Like, this isn't, it's not a fantasy fulfillment. This is a complicated world with complicated characters that have to make very complicated decisions. It's not something where you just, like, you have to save the world, yay, and you do it like one side mission at a time.
It's all or nothing.
First game I've played in a long time with a real focus on narrative. Yeah. I'm gonna take a moment to shout out Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, it's again, it's not there to like challenge you. It's not really what Guardians of the Galaxy or Marvel is for in the first place. At least not its like mass market stuff. I'm sure that Marvel publishes many smaller comics with a lot of challenging thoughts and interesting notions in them, but Guardians is a big budget game, feature complete. Was baked for the full amount of time it needed. Hopefully it'll sell well enough for Square. Oh, what is this, Nori? What is this? What is this lodestone thing I'm clicking on here? Oh, they're doing maintenance? Oh dear. Ooh. Oh, and okay. So yeah, the server's gonna go down 3 hours anyway. Okay. Well, no big deal. It's I'd kind of imagined that I would be able to no life 14, just streaming it all day every day, but I don't know, life gets in the way. That reminds me I have laundry to do. Oh, Luke, thanks for gifting a sub. Skinny balls. Heading out. Oh, I see what you mean. Or sorry, I didn't see your previous comment. When you played out tropes, I want some captivating dialogue and engaging acting that will turn my brain into shit. It's tough. It's tough. It's weird too, because like in media, there's been such an explosion of media output, kind of subsidized by a bunch of private companies trying to get into being media providers like Netflix and what have you. So like, tons of people are throwing money at creating their own catalog of media. Sure has created a lot more stuff, but it sure does make it harder to sort through all that. Paw Patrol the movie. Haven't seen that one yet. And similarly with movies, I think probably there's more of that content out there than ever before. Lightning's down, right? It's not the big budget stuff, and with movies, I don't know, kind of never was. Wait, you can be a medic, but I don't know if you know. Oh wait, no, you can't. All right, fine. Phoenix down again. I'm excited about 16. Seems like they're going in a more high fantasy route. Yeah, I mean it's directed by Yoshi P, and his sensibilities about Final Fantasy, I think, can be pretty accurately seen in 14, which itself is a I think most people would agree is a lot more traditional.
Maybe we should try something else.
And yeah, I agree. Even like the footage they released, it was knights, it was castles, it was dialogue that wasn't about anime jargon. It was like more about human conflicts and human connections. So yeah, maybe Vagrant Story. More
Would this work better, like?
Who's the writer that did Vagrant Story and Tactics and Final Fantasy XII? Actually did some collaboration content for Final Fantasy XIV. Yasumi Matsuno, that's it. Yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah. Did Save the Queen. An Unsung Story. Oh, right. Oh, that's hitting early access on December 17th. Ooh. Chaos. I am so about Stranger of Paradise too. I was a little bummed that everybody seemed so willing to turn their nose up at it to begin with. I was like, can't games be fucking stupid anymore? Like the game, it's clearly self-aware. I think everybody eventually caught on to it. Like, I don't know. The other M of Final Fantasy? I mean, yeah. Wait, it is Team Ninja, yeah! I didn't hate Other M as much as I was led to believe I would. Oh, look at this big boy with his meaty calves. Ooh, you can see his behemoth bussy under there. Who's trying to get the cyber behemoth bussy 8.
We can't lose here.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, you get a full ATB if you get them from behind. and it staggers? Holy shit, I didn't know that. I should not have switched to Synergist, but I'm gonna need Protect on anyway.
Good call. Maybe we should try something else.
But yeah, so if you attack if they're staggered and you attack with Ravager, it actually ups the damage buff, as you can kind of see it ticking up. Oh, got so close. And then if you attack with Ravager while they're staggered, it makes them stay staggered longer. So it's an interesting trade-off. From behind, eh? Who hasn't wanted to take a behemoth from behind? Oh yeah, the protagonist plays Limp Bizkit. What's funny is, like, that's how that cutscene closes, but the next cutscene immediately opens with him, like, 3 steps away, and then he just stops and turns back around and walks back into the cutscene. like, he does all of that for no reason. Oh, it's so beautiful. It blew my mind that people just were like, oh, what is this? I'm like, how do you not...
What is it?
How do you not understand intentional camp? But... to the saving grace of gamers everywhere, people eventually caught on, but man.
Seem like they're even looking for.
I remember reading some like snarky article on Kotaku, and I'm like, man, come on, bro. Are you really trying to score points by dunking on the game that's very obviously not taking itself seriously?
Us, then lose their pride.
So the other soldiers don't know about us.
I love this mouth animation because it's done in like a lower frame rate than the rest of the game.
Any fugitives?
This game is supposed to be 30 FPS. The power of the PC conquers all. Actually, did they FPS boost 13? Oh.
Time to move.
Kotaku's glorified shitposting. Yeah, it's weird. They seem to. I mean, like it's an outlet that's been there for a while, and there's been a lot of good work on that outlet. It just seems like sometimes, games media and you know, I guess I can include myself in this. Like, they want to be taken seriously when they want to be taken seriously, but then when they want to have fun, they also want that too. So it's like, no, you have to respect us as a formal outlet when we're reporting on workplace violations and stuff. But then also we're going to just let a writer say whatever the hell they want about this work thing that this studio worked really hard on, and just like they're just going to trash it for fun. I'm like, can you do both? I guess you can. I guess they're doing it. Oh, it's boosted on Series X/S. Okay. Last time I tried to play this, it wasn't. I think the resolution was a bit higher, but yeah, it's the frame rate I just couldn't take. That's the weird part about having so many writers of varying quality. Yeah, and that's not to jump too far down though, like the shaking, you know, yelling at Cloudwell. But that is something that I feel like a lot of people should acknowledge when they're like, oh, my controller turned off. I don't know if the battery's dead or if it just shook really hard and then shut off. People will like put 2 headlines, like they'll make an image of 2 op-eds from 2 different writers and put them next to each other and be like, look at how stupid this outlet is. And I'm like, motherfuck, man.
You should try something else.
Do you not understand what an opinion article is? You're allowed to have different opinions on the same website. It's just funny how people who argue, like, people who ostensibly are arguing for quality coverage in games media then effectively say an outlet should have a unified opinion. Like, it's the opposite of what's good. But, a lack of editorial consistency? I mean, you know, when it comes to tonal unity, that could be the case. but also most blogs operate in such volume that trying to enforce tonal consistency is just not going to happen. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's not a whole lot of money in writing about video games. So you're either gonna, like, if you're thinking about the talent pool, most of the truly talented writers find like better paying and far more consequential work elsewhere. Even within the games space, there are so many better paying, less stressful, and more lucrative jobs than writing for a gaming blog. And the good writers usually find those opportunities. Not to imply that anyone who still writes for a blog is a bad writer. I don't mean that at all. I have to think about it. I don't want to. The last thing I want to do is make it sound like I'm like insulting or dismissing an entire group of people, much less people that write about games for a living, because God knows they don't do it for the fame or for the money, you know? Oh no, Creamy Sun, you had early access and didn't know it? Yeah, Jug, I don't know. I have my own issues with that writer, but they're not worth getting into at the moment.
Way to go. Maybe we should try something else.
Oh yeah, Tim Rogers has been shining like a diamond.
Would this work better, like?
And I mean, consider that he worked on his Cyberpunk video for what, like a solid year, and I'm sure it's a great video. I'm not even calling into question the creative quality of it, but like the views on it are not going to generate a year's worth of revenue for the guy. So oh, you forgot to put in a key after waiting through the queue? Oh, so you have to wait again? Oh, yeah. Oh, you reminded me, actually. Because, yeah, they sent me another key for it, too, that I think is for the actual game proper, and I haven't redeemed that yet. So, now that we're out of early access, yeah, actually, that might be me, too. Squeegee, I don't know about that. I don't think that's true. Schreier does it for the love of the industry. Well, maybe in his mind he does. I'll give him that credit. I don't know. His coverage has been decidedly well, and I won't get into it. Whatever. I shouldn't. Whatever. I'll do my own work. How about that? I'll be the change I want to see in the world.
Thank you.
Which I'm going to be doing tomorrow, so... Yeah, get in there. Okay. So here, hold on a minute. Low-paying job. I'm curious about this. Oh, why does Shrek act like he's such hot shit? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he's done what a lot of writers have been unable to do, which is create a brand for himself. But he did that by injecting himself into a lot of his reporting. I don't know. As a writer, there's things I notice. There's phrases he uses that make his reporting sound bigger and more important than it is. Like,
Stay on guard.
tiny example, right? There was he did a report on the Raven QA stuff, which is what I'm working on. I'm gonna have a lot of calls with those guys tomorrow. But he talked about how he received and reviewed an email that with all the demands from QA, but it was a publicly released statement. Like his writing always carves it out like he's privy to some amazing stuff, and sometimes he is, which is all the relationships he's curated in the gaming industry with developers and stuff, and curating the image of being a trustworthy source, which he is, I guess. He hasn't thrown any of his sources under the bus, as far as I know. But yeah, he will frequently make explicit mention of how he got privileged access or how developers talked to him specifically, when that's not really what happened.
I've got your back.
Thank you.
And that's only because, like, I don't know. My purview and visibility on gaming stuff has shifted a bit too, in like in ways that oh shit. Oh fuck, that's right, he stands up and then it gets really, really ridiculous. Oh man, I should have attacked him first.
Maybe we should try something else.
Boy. Oh, I should probably, yeah. So as long as you have one commando in your you can be reasonably assured that the stagger meter won't reset as long as they're still attacking. I think protect is all I need. Oh, he's... Ow. Also, ATB doesn't recharge when you're in the air. Come on, get up!
Would this work better, Light?
Oh! I've got your back.
Fuck. I am dropping a lot. Everybody dying. Damn it, that sucks.
Good call.
It's Hope's weapon a boomerang. It's a magic boomerang.
Let's keep
Jeez,
this
that was a
up.
little rough. I think Sentinel also maintains Stagger. I think it does, but I don't have it yet. They haven't given me that yet. You won't need a commando really when you have 3 party members. I mean, I've even with 1 or 2 Ravagers hitting it, I've seen the meter fall out, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I played this. Yeah, 13's battle music is pretty good. Oh,
I wonder how the others are doing.
his feetsies hurt.
Saz,
How many hours in am I? 7 or 8, I think.
who knows? Even if they got away, they'll get caught eventually.
Anyway, I guess ultimately what I should...
Choose. Resist or surrender.
Surrender.
A lot of his reporting is pro-worker,
He's still alive?
which is good, but
You mean Snow?
it's pretty clear, like,
He's too stubborn to.
sometimes it is the definition of
That's his best quality.
biased reporting, but it's a good bias, right? So how can you argue with it? But
Never liked him much. He leads around a bunch of kids. Gang called Nora.
being pro-worker is a very good bias to have.
It's a
Upton Sinclair, he is not, no.
Their little code stands for no.
But I do think that's
rules or
luminous. So I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think that's... I see a conscious
It's
and
irresponsible.
sometimes very visible effort to curate that image. And that's good because it just leads to more people coming to you with stuff that you can then run articles about. But
Well then.
it does, I guess ultimately it does, well, I should stop talking about people I've never met face to face. So I will. I need to buy some Phoenix Downs. Ooh, those are expensive. I can't unsee the low frame rate lip movements. Good. Never unsee them. I love them. It gives the game like a really weird sort of South Park kind of feeling. Yeah, and like they have these like logos for all the different shops. Oh, Halo Dudette. Thank you for the sub and for that wonderful emote. That emote. Oh, yeah! That's right. You have all these little doohickeys, and each doohickey is worth experience, and you just sort of dump them into a weapon. Maybe that's what that cranky grinder thing was for. You have to shove your sword in the bottom, and then pour in 40 bolts on the top and grind them all up. I bet in this game, if you changed the design of the mini-map to make it not so, like, utterly visible that you're in a hallway all the time, I bet people wouldn't have reacted so negatively to it. Sometimes it really is just about
Civilians aren't allowed in here.
just enough smoke in a game
We'll have to be sure and tell him.
that people don't notice and get upset. Wait a minute. This doesn't matter. I'm playing a video game. Yeah, Final Fantasy X was all hallways. That's true. It didn't even really have a world map. These open-air pens, designed to restrain experimental bioweapons, are equipped with electromagnetic containment fences linked to a site-wide biorhythmic monitoring system. Fences deactivate automatically when biorhythms for known high-risk specimens are no longer detected. Kill all the enemies. Got it. I want this Joker to turn around. Alright. I get that bioweapon. Get him from behind. Oh, he was presenting. We as a society can progress when we realize that linear does not equal bad. Yeah, Umbra, I think honestly that's kind of a talking point from times past.
Maybe we should try something else.
I think these days people are kind of starved for linear games. For me, at least, why Guardians of the Galaxy was such a breath of fresh air. How do you feel about the Gestalt battles? Those are the ones with... Those are like the... You have to beat up the summons, and you gotta fill a meter and smash a button before the timer's out.
The animals.
I remember those being confusing.
Our pen mates, they should power.
And it not necessarily always being clear what made that meter fill up. There was... I think the Shiva one, the first time I did it, was really weird. I think Odin is also a tough one. Sneaking up on a Lobo is literally just Hope staring hard into the animal's asshole. Don't turn around, you Lobo. Hope's gonna cram your butt. Oh, oh, oh. Kinda fell apart at the end there. That's because I'm facing Odin right now. Yeah, I remember the first time I played this, the Odin fight took me like 3 or 4 tries. I ended up beating it at the, like, straight up in the last 5 seconds or so, and still not exactly knowing how I did it. I think I have a better grasp of the paradigm system now, after having finished 13 and playing 13-2, which is sort of the better version of 13. I don't know, 13-2 is awesome. It's like it's got a more playful tone. It doesn't wallop you over the head with a bunch of meaningless jargon all the time. The music is bomb ass. It's even got a bit of like a Chrono feel with you jumping around to like different time zones and stuff. I was bummed until, like, I was pretty bummed with Square Enix's output until I played 13-2. Then I was like, oh shit, they can still make games like this, okay. And then Lightning Returns is like Shenmue, so I have to like it. Although I didn't ever finish Lightning Returns. But it's got battle dresses. Yeah, the metal chocobo theme. 13-2 has a lot of really cool experimental music. I remember there's a track called Run, I think, that just has the wildest drum breaks all over it. Just like almost drum and bass, like caliber drum breaks. It's going banana pants. What happened? Oh, that was weird. And little bug. If you bring up the item menu when you're staring at a prompt, it won't let you move. I would love more linear RPGs too. RPG seems to equal open world nowadays. Yeah. I mean, Battle Chasers? Night Horror? But yeah, I guess Undertale can be low linear. Low linear. Oh. Oh. Yeah, Anthrax, I agree. There's been a ton of very good JRPGs in recent years. We've been very lucky. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, with its massive titties. Can you believe Nintendo published a titty JRPG? Can you believe that Monolith made a titty JRPG? What's even going on there? Where did those titties come from? I played that game long enough until I think, like, Pyrrha shows up. And the very first shot is, like, your head on her lap, looking up at her with her massive tits just right in your face. First-person shot. I'm like, what is... This isn't Xenoblade. Not that I mind. This is like a compile heart RPG. That's true. Cosmos did have that under tit. That was way back in the day. Yeah, that's true. Cosmos was kind of the... I don't know. Every Japanese property needs a character that can be cosplayed. Womb cannon and boob cannon. No, you see, it's symbolic. It's empowering. It's feminist. But she's a robot. She has to do what I say. And she's 300 years old.
Let's keep this up.
I still maintain the most astounding non-titty to titty pivot was in Mass Effect. You know what I realized too is that in the exact same window that everybody was like, oh wait, did I turn around and go back up the elevator? I think I did. Because it did look the same. I was like, surely I'm on the other side or something. Nope, I just turned around. Oh, okay. Smooth move, Snow. I mean, Hope. Idiot. That's a weird bump on the back of my ear. I'm just trying to think of Hall of Famer RPG boobs. I don't know that they get sloppier than Edie's, if I'm being real. Actually, no, like Pyrrha and Mithra or whatever. Those are some back destroyers those ladies got. Oh, Lulu, that's true. Oh, here we go. On the Stagger mechanic, commandos add 3 seconds of maintenance, as it's called, whereas saboteurs add 2 and ravagers add 1. The duration of the Stagger is your current maintenance points times 2, with each a cap of 45 seconds long and a minimum of 8. Each turn to finish takes about 7 seconds, and you will lose 18 maintenance seconds in that time. You only need 22 seconds to get max duration Stagger, and a single Commando Ravager will create about 25 seconds. You can just have the rest be Saboteur Ravager to fill Stagger bar fast. Alright. Okay then. Alright. Oh, that's right. You gotta kill all the wolves and make the walls go down. I don't know why I thought that would... Like, the map rotates, too. I guess that's why they put that giant arrow there telling you where to go. But yeah, I just got turned around. Oh. Yeah. Lara Croft? I mean, Lara Croft's chest is actually not that big. She's just kind of buxom for an adventuring lady. I don't know. People associating Lara Croft with having just like a ridiculous rack is, I think, more to do with the fact that there were just a bunch of giggling dudes who played that game. Original Final Fantasy VII Tifa Lockhart was ridiculous. That's true, yeah. And some of the high poly versions of her character model in the cutscenes, it's pretty... Yeah. It's like, you gotta... Oh. You can't buy your bras at Walmart. You gotta mail order that stuff. It's gotta, like... It's gotta have, like, a metal framework bolted to your hips. Yeah, she's gotta shop at Torrid. Yeah, the big old polygons. Which is odd because, you know, I was gonna say Japan typically doesn't go for those big bara titties, but who am I kidding? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I haven't seen things on the internet. Why is that blinking? What's new? I think it's just because it swapped party. Yeah, I remember taking a long time, because getting 3 party members really does open up the battle system quite a bit. But they don't want you to get too overwhelmed.
Caged in like the animals.
Oh yeah, people got pissed at Advent Children because they had to make her chest more normal sized. Well, that was kind of the first depiction of Tifa post the game too. But yeah, could you imagine? Ow. Well, this is a different kind of behemoth. Remember when people thought Tifa getting a Sports Bra in 7 Remake was censorship? Yeah. I don't know, it's just part of this never-ending cycle where the people who experienced something, like the people who got to be at the center of demographic appeal for a little bit, don't understand why the demographic appeal shifted away from what they like at all. Why can't everything be for 13-year-old boys all the time? That's the default state of all of this. All video games are for horny 13-year-old boys, right? That's how it's always been. I remember, like, the first time that I sort of had my inkling that maybe I was the benefit of demographic appeal was when it was like back in, when did Half-Life 2 come out? That was 2005, I think? And I remember reading, oh yeah, because that was the main character.
Sorry, I can't do this.
So I have to have Protect on or I get one shot. I think it lets you restart the fight though. Or if it boots me back to save, okay. Can't remember the artist's name, Ted Backman, I think. It's like the lead artist on Half-Life and Half-Life 2. He was talking about the design of the head crabs and the werehounds. Something hounds. I can't remember. The electric dogs. And he was kind of describing his design process in the book, and he was like, yeah, we made this game for adolescent boys. And then he was like, what are adolescent boys scared of? They're scared of sex and they're scared of vaginas. So I made this like cute little monster with a toothy vagina on the bottom, so that when it jumps at you, it freaks you out. Same with the dogs. He was like, the dogs used to have like very visible genitalia, so when they ran at you, it would be like it would trigger like penis terror, because that's also what, you know, young boys are afraid of, is homophobia. And I was like, holy shit! This entire game is curated around this audience, and that kind of kicked off a whole like, oh dang, I guess it is everything. Holy shit! Okay, so I have to have Protect on, or I'm not gonna make it anywhere.
Come on, Light.
What is I guess what's extra baffling to me about that whole dynamic,
How about this, Light?
is truly like the nature. When people talk about fictional characters and fictional worlds as though they have a natural default state and weren't just a like a creative decision from a group of people at a particular time for commercial ends. Like the conviction that some people have that the size of Tifa's chest was like a near and dear creative decision to people's hearts and is vital to the creative soul of this universe. Or even that, on some level, it even does butt up against protecting an artist's ability to express themselves. And if what they want to see is giant titties, then we should let that happen. I mean, not that anyone's ever had a problem expressing their joy of titties, but still, to imply that decision was made at that time for any reason other than it's gonna sell more copies if there's a big titted lady in it. I don't know. It's just so weird, man. But that's what's crazy. It's like when people are that deep, when consuming media, and living inside of media is their culture. That's what happens when like you cater to people all their lives. They think that that's the point of life, I guess.
The observation battalion will be coming.
Entitled "Fanboys and Fangirls Who Act Like They Should Have a Say in How Their Favorite Thing Should Go is Fucking Ridiculous." It's an interesting dynamic. Because, I mean, it is true to an extent that without the participation, the financial participation of an audience, a lot of these products wouldn't exist. And I think to some degree too that collectively people do contribute to the success of entertainment products. So I think in a measured way, it is smart for creators of something to understand the group that likes the product and understand what they like about it. But yeah, when it crosses over into ownership, that's when it gets weird. Especially when it's like ownership of something, like when it's people professing ownership, but then they didn't even take the time or effort to actually understand what went into the product. Like didn't listen to any dev interviews, didn't read any books about it. They just liked the fantasy. They liked what the fantasy gave to them, and that's how they want to keep it.
Lightning! Maybe we should try something else.
But I'm strawmanning pretty hard here. God damn! I need to buy better armor for my people.
Yes!
Or just do more fights. Level up a little bit. Oh boy, they're gonna get me. Oh.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
That's where I started, to be fair. I think everybody does to at a certain point. I think it's especially, you know, I can only speak to the United States experience, but grow up surrounded by media. It's like it's a family pastime to share media, to like watch Disney movies. I mean, how many kids are just, you know, nose down in an iPad at a restaurant? I'm not saying it's bad. I don't even have a kid, so I don't have a right, like, if I had a kid and I wanted to go out to a nice meal, you bet their ass they'd be watching Peppa Pig videos and not bothering me. I think it does require understanding that, like, some people do spend their entire lives with entertainment and media products. So I kind of get why it leads to conversations going the way they do. I never switch fast enough. I'm just gonna let this step over. I'm just gonna let this fight restart itself. When I have children, I would raise them on better stuff than Peppa Pig.
Sorry, I can't do this.
Full Metal, I mean, you can say that, but when your kid's been crying for 20 hours straight and Peppa Pig is the only thing that gets them to be quiet so you can go to sleep. I don't know. I think it's a Peppa Pig household at that moment, but then again, I don't have kids and whatever. The most sleep I give up is for video games, so. Just got to be worried about all the psyops now.
Try something else.
The kids are getting mentally programmed by YouTubers.
I got your back. Yes.
I may not be able to out-heal this.
Lightning.
I cannot out-heal this. If I get a surprise attack, Lightning should do blitz and just hit everybody and stagger everyone, but it didn't work out that way.
Sorry, I can't do this.
Also, yeah, the equipment being two things. It didn't really Really rub people the right way either. Ooh, Pale Rider, thanks for the raid. Welcome, y'all. We're playing the wrong Final Fantasy today because the line was too long. So, here we are. What's up, Afro? Welcome. Lightning, go! She's not doing blitz. Oh, Stagger's already worn off.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Maybe I can... I can't give her commands because she's not the leader. Maybe I can make her the leader. If she just did blitz, it would be fine, because that hits everybody, but she won't do it. I don't think it'll let me... Fuck. It has to be Hope, so I can't give her a command. Can you not skip encounters in this game because you're under-leveled? This specific one has a laser door that I have to... How close am I to leveling? Maybe I just need a level or two. Oh, wait, there are no levels in this game. Right, Crystarium. Right, okay. I have a lot of crystal points that I haven't spent. That might have something to do with it. Might have something to do with it. Why is everyone level 1 still? You know what? You might be onto something. I mean, it doesn't, like, tick up levels like that, but... Yeah, what is... I mean, gaining a level doesn't do anything, right? And also you have to wait for them to unlock further levels. I can probably make a double medic Crystarium. I think this gives HP a lot. Ooh, Fyra. Okay. Now we're talking. So at least he has a Ravager spell that can hit AoE now. And your Ravager is basically that belt. I feel like I don't want you to be using launch in this fight. What is going on with this level progression? It's essentially like the sphere grid or whatever. You get points that you then fill in nodes on a graph with, and they give you stat buffs. All right, here we go. Pop every single slug there. I wonder if I have like a grenade or a item I can use. There we go. Look at you vaulting up there.
How about this, Light?
That's it, Hope.
No, it's not. Cast on the wrong one, Hope. You're gonna die, and it's your fault. Yeah. I guess I picked the wrong one.
I can't do this.
Yeah, you can't, loser. Wom. I could turn around and just, I guess, grind CP. I don't remember this being such a pain in the ass. Maybe I have a bomb or something I can use. No, I don't. I mean, Fortizol might actually be good to use. Ah, shit, they saw me. Oh, whatever. Redslinger, thanks for the sub. Vanille's a good character. I liked Vanille. Oh, now you're doing Blitz. Now you're doing Blitz. Thanks. Thanks hates lightning. Weapon LTK. You always you like being told you're pretty, I've noticed. Or maybe this is just what you say in every stream you resub on. Anyway, weapon. You're a pretty boy. There, see? Fuck. All you had to do was blitz. Why did it take you so long?
That went well.
Yeah, it did, didn't it, Lightning? Went great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Take 5.
Now I get the thing. All right. He gives me the, like, Principal Skinner pathetic look while Lightning is gasping for air.
What's eating you? Okay, I can tell you're hung up on something. Is it the Lassie thing?
You bummed about being a magic zombie?
No, isn't it?
The Lassie thing.
What happened with him?
You wouldn't understand.
You and I are partners, Hope.
You're the only one I want to hear talk about how pretty I am? Yeah, I remember last month. You made it clear
I was
that
killed.
I was the only boy to call you pretty. Remember this? Oh yeah! Hope's mom had some sloppy knockers, but they were even kind of in a virgin killer a little
It's
bit.
his fault.
A virgin killer with sleeves. If only there was a name for that.
And he needs to pay for it. I'm not ready yet, but I will be soon. That's why I followed you.
Nature is amazing, right?
Snow dragged us all into this.
Once a beautiful woman has a kid,
Your sister Sarah,
those boobs take on a whole other life. They enter a beautiful second phase of existence.
gotta be stronger.
I'll
Sure you
take
do.
the lead.
I like how the immediate fight after I really wanted to tell Lightning specifically what to do, they give me control. Okay. Alrighty.
You just have to face your fear.
You shit with that ass?
Then you can take on anything.
Damn, girl. You shit with that? You frying chicken in here? Be loud as hell. I like that.
I'll never pull this off if I don't toughen up.
I think, I'm going to put this out there. I actually think Lightning not doing Blitz was probably on me for not picking the slugs that were in the middle of the crowd, because I do think the AI will automatically choose an attack based circumstantially. Like, it'll pick an AoE attack if there's a lot of enemies surrounding the enemy you're targeting. Church, thank you for the... Wow, thank you for the year's worth of resubs. 12 months of being at tier 3. Yeah, that's a lot. Appreciate that. Doesn't feel like a year? Yeah, tell me about it. Ever since quarantine, we've been trapped in a time bubble. It is feeling more and more like normal time lately, though, just because more like disruptive life events are happening, which kind of helps mark the passage of time for me. Christogen points. Neat. Jar Axis, thank you for the resub. That's for gonna be something like you take 25% less poison damage or something. Yeah. Increase poison resistance by 30%. I was 5 off. I'm gonna be honest, I'm losing the willpower to keep playing this game. It's just too boring for you. 13's pretty boring. Yeah. I think it's probably best to think about it like an overwrought anime melodrama. That's basically all you've got to kind of keep you going for the first 15 hours. And it's like, it's weird dialogue. It's not delivered super well. Really, like, the biggest issue with this game is what they choose to show you at the beginning. They make some very funky decisions on what to spend time with. There's so many more important and more engaging things that they could do instead of focusing on these, like, nonsensical character conflicts. Or even, like, showing conflicts that they don't even explain. Like, Vanille talks a lot, and you have no idea what she's all about, really, because she doesn't say anything about herself. Like, and a lot of the beginning is kind of focusing on Snow's shitty little band of heroes. I almost get on the page what they're trying to do. They were trying to establish this, like, crew of likable characters in a very sort of, like, small scale, it's almost like Avalanche in 7. It's like, show these characters and then kind of establish the game cast. And this game, like, kind of deals with them pretty quickly, which is, I think, supposed to be the buy-in moment for the audience. You grow to like these stupid characters so that you sort of get more bought into the story when bad things happen to them, but they're annoying. The writing is bad. Yeah, and they don't matter. They're not charming at all. So yeah, it's unfortunate because, like, really, there's just a lot of time and dialogue spent on things that don't contribute to your enjoyment at all. I do think by the end of it, the combat system's really interesting. I don't think I ever truly cared about the characters in this game.
One of those?
The setting is kind of interesting, but again, that takes like 20 hours. Or you have to read the plot synopses to even know what's going on in the setting. So, a lot of weird decisions. And like they keep flashing back. It's like, it's a really bad decision in the middle of a story that doesn't make sense to flash back to another story that also doesn't make sense.
So now you're gonna marry this idiot? And you think I'm gonna buy that? Full points for originality. But don't forget, if you really are a lessee, it's my job to deal with you.
Like, it's not smart to reveal why you should be bought into this relationship after the like division of that relationship already happened.
Wait, Sarah!
Like, you saw them react to each other as partners, or rather you saw Snow react to the loss of Sarah, before you have any clue about their relationship.
Question?
Lightning, stop it!
No, you stop it!
So it's like, they do everything exactly the opposite of what they should.
Sister!
They show you the events and then try to get your buy-in later. All the dialogue is so incredibly esoteric that it's literally only written for one person, the writer themselves. The dialogue to me is written to... I mean, so all dialogue is written to create events, right? Like, you have your beats and you have to figure out how to connect them with writing. But the beats seem so forced. They seem so artificially constructed to sort of match what they thought people would want. It kind of drags all the characters to the beats instead of the beats being arrived at naturally because of the characters' understandable motivations and empathetic motivations. And like, kind of like this, they show you the knife, and that's maybe a scene of value, and then an hour and a half after that, they show you the scene of her getting the knife, and you still don't know what it means.
Last night, officials confirmed the presence of a pulse valve
It was a gift.
inside the city of Bodum.
And it's like, is this supposed to be relevant? It doesn't make the scene of her giving the knife to Hope any more interesting because it was a present. Maybe a little more tragic?
In response to this,
I guess there's something neat about Hope wanting to stab Snow to death with the knife that she got as a gift.
officials confirmed the presence of a pulse valve inside the city of Bodum. Acting with
Sarah, I should have listened to you.
But then again, you know, you'd argue it's all just creative decisions. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but then again, I'm coming at it from a very Western storytelling state of mind. I know that culturally, Japanese audiences tend to enjoy things that are mysterious. And there seems to be a lot more tolerance for, like, waiting on that reveal. They're forced, they're completely disconnected, they're out of order. They're full of characters that you basically don't know because all their character building comes hours after they're introduced. It's a fucking mess. Yeah, the events that require you to be bought into their character happen before the character building even starts. Yeah. So it's a weird decision. And one that would imply that the game is meant to be played multiple times. Because that's typically the game. Is you make something really bizarre and obtuse so that the next time you play it, it makes sense. And that technique is used a lot in anime and Eastern storytelling. I mean, how many animes have you watched that start with some mystical battle with rules that make no sense, and then it cuts to, you know, running to school with toast in my mouth? And of course, the operative mystery is, you know, how are we going to get back there from here? It's almost like that ethos, but not applied to anything interesting. Because it definitely opens in the middle of stuff, like lightning's on a train, kind of blowing shit up. And again, I think you can see the Final Fantasy VII influences there. And then only now do you realize you're kind of starting to put together Chapter 5, 8 hours into the game. Then in the beginning, she was trying to go save her sister. And she was like hijacking a train to do it. But I think at this point in the... No, I guess at this point in the story, you kind of understand the world rules about l'Cie and fal'Cie and all that shit.
That wasn't so bad.
It's very easy to fall into the trap of thinking your audience will follow along with the connections you formed in your head. I think there's some of that here, at least the beginning. I agree. Luminous, I think the greatest... I think I'm gonna end up saying what you're saying, but rephrasing it, is that this game assumes that its audience is captive. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. Once they get into the weeds of making a thing, they assume... Or they forget that they have to kind of earn the audience's trust over and over and over again. But I think this game really feels like it was made knowing that people will give it the benefit of the doubt. And will sit through it because of its name. And granted, that's what I did. And I think by the end, it kind of almost does pay that off. But yeah, for the first 20 hours, it's like, what? You have to tell me why I'm here. And they just don't do that. Or don't feel the need to do something. That was an interesting dynamic that I noticed. It was the first time, like, kind of like mid to late stage machinima. Everything they made, they stopped talking about what they were making as though they had to earn the audience anymore. It was very much this just like effusive sensibility that whatever we make, we're guaranteed an audience. So we're allowed to sort of bank against their time.
Time to switch it up.
But and I think honestly, I think that's why out of a lot of things there, Inside Gaming did so well, is because as a producer, Bruce never ever slipped into that complacency. Ooh. Yeah. Xbox Snap Machinima app. How crazy is it that at some point, somebody was like, okay, so I guess the vocal command is going to be Xbox Snap Machinima app. And somebody else in the room was like, there's no way that's going to work. Never once is anyone going to say that out loud. Maybe they will as a joke, but that's it. Like, at that point, at the moment that somebody said it out loud the first time, somebody else in the room should have been like, that's never going to work. Maybe they were. I don't know. I've been that person once or twice. Let me tell you, that person's not popular. And they are not invited to the next meeting. Was that a thing? Yeah, sure was. I mean, Machinima got in trouble with the SEC for that campaign, the Xbox One campaign, where they farmed a bunch of like paid shit out to influencers and did not tell them to disclose. Oh, balls? I haven't really lost that much weight. I think my face might be a little more lean, but I don't know. The number on the scale doesn't move much. But thank you. Thank you for the compliment. If it helps, I'm hungry right now. Maybe that's why. I can't wait to lose like 30 pounds. You guys won't even know it. I don't even know what I'm gonna look like. I've never been that lean. See, almost got turned around. That's the crazy thing. Like, you go into and come out of battle, and all you do is see like a fantasy walkway. If you don't look at the mini-map, you might just start running forward, and that forward could be backwards. That's why they have all these checkpoints here. Imagine making a hallway that you can get lost in. That's this game.
You picked the wrong fight.
I forget, how do you level gear in this game? I know you can, I just can't remember how. I didn't remember either. So you have to find a store, and then you can upgrade your gear, and you do that by dumping items into it. So components, yeah. Each of these components, like, they drop off of enemies, and each one is worth a particular amount of experience. You dump those items wholesale into your equipment, and it will level it up. So you have to kind of farm drops in the world. If I go over here, will you just turn around and forget that I'm here? No, you won't. Okay.
We can win if we stay focused.
Hey, cruise ship Choji. What are you doing? Time for Praetorium. What? Dante, we should be free of Praetorium's curse for a while.
Follow my lead, Hope.
Here!
All that brand new content in 14? Yeah, I remember grinding drops in this game, but I can't remember for what.
Time to switch it up.
Oh, Praetorium is in 6.1? What? Okay, never mind.
Here. Keep up with me, Hope.
So much stuff is going to be in 6.1? Yeah? The chips that Cycom soldiers drop are worth a lot of money. I think I knew that at one point, but the ancient tomes of knowledge have been lost. That's why they must be reclaimed.
Easy.
Magical moments. What the hell was that? Oh. Oh, okay. Got an access to another store. It was a great spot to farm for the mid-game, but there's an alarm going off the whole time. Wamp. Wamp.
You know best,
Wamp.
but why are we turning around?
Good question. See? Now that's smart game design. Not necessarily Hope's Wiener bootlicking, but having an NPC call that shit out, and you're like, oh, yeah.
Go look ahead.
I also like the idea of Hope asking that and then Lightning stopping and then silently turning around without saying anything. That's a very Lightning thing to do. Ludonarrative dissonance? Not in my game. So yeah, you gotta upgrade. and then you can just pour screws into a sword until it gets better. Woo! Do I have any of those? So for 420, nice. Nice. Can't remember if there's any reason to keep weapons you don't need. I can't remember if there's any kind of crafting shit. Oh, yo. Okay, all right. Hey, oh. What is going on? Oh, controller lost signal. Oh no, I swear, there's like this desk has some kind of anti-radiation shield, which is good because that means the 5G won't indoctrinate my penis. My penis is safe, everybody. As protected as it is by this thin metal desk. No gay government frog waves getting to my dick. Not today. Gummy oil? I live in California and I know exactly what that means. Oh yeah, shit, it's THC Tuesday. Man, I've been so distracted doing life shit. Oh, I still have laundry to do! I can't believe I'm playing Final Fantasy XIII sober. What the fuck is wrong with me? Do you remember that after seeing my name? Well, somebody mentioned that I wasn't using the weed bumper earlier, so it was in the back of my head, but... Oh, White Rabbit, given your name. I don't know how well... I guess you had that name long before the Matrix 4 trailer had White Rabbit in it, but... I guess they referenced that in the first movie, so... I am glad that the trailers are being much more direct about saying that, hey, this isn't just a remake. Like, this is actually connected to and following the trilogy, so... Tickets went on sale today? They went on sale yesterday. Matrix Monday. At least in the United States anyway, so... You better believe I got my ticks secured. I'm excited. I'm excited just because it's a Wachowski film with action in it. Because their action directing is bonkers good. Yeah. Open the door, coward. Let me beat that thing up. It seems like I could just squeeze in. I know I can't. I can. Never mind. You can just walk around it. Oh yeah, they're putting it on Max Day 1. I hope it's the kind of movie that I'll want to rewatch. Probably should have gone with another. I'll check it out a couple of weeks after release, like all movies I watch. That's what I've fallen into as well. I don't know what it is. It's not that I mind discourse or whatever. I don't want anyone's opinion infecting my mind. I wish I were strong enough to see somebody's boneheaded take on the internet and just not think about it when I'm watching a movie, but I'm not that strong yet, and I wish I could be. I wish other people's words would just fly right out of my head. But they don't. Usually what'll happen is I'll see somebody say a thing, and then I'll be like, huh. And then I'll go watch a movie, and then I'll be like, how did that person think that after watching that? And like, I wish that didn't happen. I wish, it's just, the raw confusion takes over. That's why I try to see movies on the first day. You know what I realized just now? I think this may be related to like the fact that I follow a lot of media types. A lot of what they do is you know, consuming media and saying opinions about it. So my entire feed is media types who are dropping some hot takes about things. It's like, just don't want to see it. Especially when a lot of those takes are sort of, oh, so close. They seem like they're all through the lens of content creation. So it's all these like sanitized, audience-friendly takes that don't offer much in the way of actual analysis or criticism. Really? Yeah.
Stay down!
I wish, you know, here's what I wish. I wish every media producer had like a public persona account and then a real human being account. And I guess I'm implying a lot by saying that those may not be separate for people. There may be some people who genuinely like only want to podcast about movies every day of their life, but I want to only follow the other one. I want to follow the other one. That's just about life stuff and not about Ghostbusters or Star Trek or whatever the heck. Ooh, whale ever in here with a VIP or ban though. Let's hit that button. It's time. On the luckiest game too, probably.
Out of my way!
What's it gonna be?
I've got your back.
Ooh! Oh yeah!
Follow my lead.
It's good you did that in the holiday season too, because now we can celebrate not only the arrival of our white Christian Lord, but also the arrival of a new VIP. There may not have been room at the end, but there's still room in my VIP list for one more. I was hoping to have my VIP or ban in the 24-hour stream, just 15,000 away. Ah, so close. You'll get there. Let's see here. Well, congratulations, Whale Lover 95. Congratulations to VIP. Can't believe how much that meant for me. Well, good. I'm glad to create moments of importance, moments of consequence here on the internet. Look at all these slugs. There's a sweet item back there, though. Actually, I'm gonna drop a hot pause because I gotta deal with some laundry. So I don't want my clothes getting mildewy and wrinkly. Every day I come to stream, I have a nice shirt without wrinkles, and that's what people come here for. Nice unwrinkled shirts. So I gotta keep up the facade. I'll be back. Dang it, it's still a blur.
Present it.
Don't mind if I cut in. Always with the jokes. Always with those jokes. Oh, controller's off. Okay, I did my laundry. And I ate a kind bar. I did everything as... Oh. I know that was probably a long break, so... Thank you for your patience. Oh, right. Slug battle. How do you do this bit? What do you mean? Be incredibly handsome, be visually stunning, and also play video games to an extraordinary superhuman level? How do I do it? Is that what you're asking? How do I do that?
Stay down!
How do I balance world fame and still find the time to do my laundry? Controller's off. Controller's off! Oh, the game doesn't auto-pause when the controller disconnects, and now it's 2 dead. Man. Yeah. Door stuck! Door stuck! God. Remember when games did that? The savage times. I was commenting on this. How, like, this is directly hot drop from that really awkward transition. Like, wireless controllers weren't really a thing. And I don't think the console, like, operating systems handled that. Like, that eventually became part of QA process and stuff. What happens when the controller disconnects? Does it pause the game? Does it bring up a nice little window? How do I do all that and stay humble? It's difficult, but the millions of dollars I earn on Twitch every day do help. Because I know that people worked very hard for that money. So thinking about all the hard work that other people have to do keeps me humble. Are you kidding? What is happening? Well, that's interesting. It's lost the controller. I know that there was a... actually, I think I know why that is. The game actually... I saw this in one of the... Ooh! I have to save. I have to find a save point, and I don't know any of the buttons on PC. Here we go. The grandest adventure of them all. I don't know how to bring up the map. So I don't... Oh, that's the opposite of what I want! You can make it go away! We're really in it. Okay, so one of the fixes I read actually disabled controller scanning because apparently it did it so often, it did it like all the time, that it actually caused the game to lag. I guess those are things you can do when you assume that the game is going to run at 30 FPS. You can get away with a lot of inefficiencies like that. Okay. Alright. So yeah, I think the game runs at startup and you can't control any... You can't change any. Wait, hold on. I'm scared. There's a meme here. I'll reveal it with this. I don't think this meme is going to be too spicy. Because sometimes that can be dangerous. Oh, I think that's it, actually. Hold on. I want a dramatic reveal. Oh, okay. No, that's it. That's simple then. I live in terror of the memes I've collected throughout the years. I have it opened 3 times. Had that problem with RE4 PC here recently? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my random wallpapers are gonna get me canceled one of these days. You can be out here on the internet, humble human being every day of your life, and one random wallpaper depicting a war crime, and suddenly you're in hot water. Jeez. People need to chill out, alright? Cancel culture has gone far enough. 90% of my phones have memes in them, like packed to the gills with memes. It's weird, I mean, they're called memes now. I started this collection before they were called memes, though. And it's not only memes, it's a collection of just interesting, humorous, digital keepsakes. I guess I've always thought of like, I guess they're like digital souvenirs of all the weird places I've gone on the internet, in a weird way. And because you spiderweb out into other people's experiences. All the weird photos other people take. No contacts, just memes, yeah. No apps, only memes. What is the minimum number of apps I can install to look at memes? Because I want exactly that amount. I haven't fought 3 of these guys before. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I mean, even the game itself sort of, through its ranking system, basically tells you that it's not about if you win, it's about how efficiently. Which is interesting. Although later in the game there are fights that are challenging. But I've always found that, again, it's a distillation of like Final Fantasy. We were never worried about run-of-the-mill turn-based encounters. It was how fast you could beat them. How efficient you could be grinding levels and moving on to the next thing. So it's just really smart, you know? I love it when a game through entirely different means still captures the spirit of something.
Follow my lead.
Also, God, I'm thinking back, Captain, I don't know if you're still in chat, but like the actual mathematical breakdown of how the Stagger system works, that's like bizarrely nuanced for a first attempt at a system like this. Will you ever be streaming another Eden, or is it not streamable? You know what? It is streamable, and I thought about it. So probably, maybe. Man. I have, like, the game has yet to really hook in terms of mechanical complexity. Like, I haven't really gotten to a fight that's made me ponder yet. And I've been told that, like, a lot of the reviews, I like skimmed the reviews, and they were like, this game will fuck you up. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. They were basically like, if you think this is just like a put it to sleep auto battler, it's not. You have to try and you have to read. And I'm like, what a thing to read for a mobile, well, what started on a mobile platform, but it's on Steam now. Yeah, same writer as Chrono Cross, same writer, same director, scenario writer. Should have staggered the fucking... What was I thinking? Weak moves. Weak moves, Lawrence. I go... Oh, thank you, Meg. Hold on. Megaradman?
Keep up with
Mega Radman. That's it. If somebody likes me, will they like this game?
I've got your back.
Trying to get a Christmas gift, maybe? A little holiday gift, a little copy of Final Fantasy XIII. I don't think if somebody likes me that they will like this game. No, I don't think our appeals are similar. Speaking of, I just thought of a funny picture. What happened? What's going on? Oh, I had already queued. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find this amusing photo. I'll describe it first, so that when I find it, perhaps it'll, I don't know, make me sound less crazy. There's a copy. It's like a photo of a used copy of Final Fantasy XIII, and it's on like a GameStop shelf, and the cover is signed, and it says like, "To my one and only, I love you so much, baby. Happy Valentine's Day." And that's one of those like, that's a photo that tells a story, baby. Let me trade it in. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'm just gonna like hope that FF13 is in the because like I didn't change the names of any of the photos in my meme or my pictures folder, so it really could be anything. I mean, here's a classy one. I always like this. There's a picture of Final Fantasy XV food. Just look at it! How can you not want to play a game that looks like that? That's a light meal, too. Oh, you found it? Yeah, there we go. That's absolutely it. Good moves. All right. Google did it fast. For my girl in my world. Love from Jamie. XXX. On sale. £8. Recycling. Man. Oh, to give your girlfriend a copy of Final Fantasy XIII in 2009? 8? When did this... 7? Somewhere in there. 9. Alright. Square Enix first. What are you guys up to? This studio is bonkers. Please let me see it. Oh! Please! I want to see a list of games that came from that specific studio. Maybe if I just... It links to a... It's like a busted subhead. Wait, formed in fall 2010? That's after... That's after, the game came out. Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, that adds up. Presuming that this is all accurate. This just looks like a weird website. Anyway. Okay, well that was fun. Didn't learn much. But I can... If it is from the team that made Kingdom Hearts... One, I guess I can understand why it took Kingdom Hearts 3 so goddamn long to come out. Two, I said that with more venom than I should have. Two, I realize of all the things to be spiteful about, Kingdom Hearts is very low on the list. Their games are very ethereal. It's extremely poetic. Almost too much for their own good, but there's definitely an audience for it, so I can't knock it. It is frequently hard for me to vibe with, though. I've grown an appreciation for it the older I get, but it's... You gotta... I guess it really does embrace the fantasy side of it. Really asks... Sometimes it asks a lot from the audience, I'll say that. And actually, if you think about it, the whole, like, why did you say that then sensibility definitely applies to Kingdom Hearts, too. A lot of the storytelling there defies logic when it comes to what it decides to spend time on. But dreams aren't very logical, are they? I think that's ultimately it, is sometimes I gotta remind myself that it's okay to not be a robot. I'm not really a huge fan of Snow. Me neither. There are other characters, like, he is kind of trying to be the, you know, the Kiryu archetype, right? The Ichiban. Like, he's dumb sometimes, but he's pure, and through force of will and the refusal to say no, he will do what he thinks is right, and usually he's right. Like, he's an annoyingly naive. Like, it's just that like, I think, wait, yeah, Dante, that borderline himbo status that makes characters really, really lovable. Like a lot of the game, you can see the attempt, but something about the spirit's missing. There was never really a scene where he just says a bunch of dumb catchphrases. Like there's always that moment where Kiryu or whatever will talk to somebody and coach them and be accepting and understanding and offer terrific life advice. Like, it's a culmination of every side quest. And there are moments where it seems like that's what Snow's trying to do, but he just says like a catchphrase, and it comes off as extremely ingenuine. So it's a weird attempt. It's a weird attempt at that. Why does she look like Cloud? Is that intentional for fan service, or she connected to him somehow? No, it was a very marketing driven thing. There were like quotes at the time of them being like, "We're gonna try to make Final Fantasy VII again, except we know what we're doing this time." It was essentially what they said about 13. And if you think about it, holy shit! I just made this connection. All the things they said they wanted to do with 13, they're actually doing with 7 now. Like the multimedia projects, the like fucking multi dimension shit. The fact that it can basically be anything. Final Fantasy VII can be whatever now, and it is. And they're doing a pretty good job of stewarding that. And that's like straight up what they said they wanted Fabula Nova Crystallis to be. So that's kind of interesting. They had to wait long enough that they could remake 7 instead of making a new version of 7. Bananas. I'm getting wrecked all the time. Aish. Why am I getting fucked up so much, Dead? Wow. I don't remember dying this much. I'm definitely not diving into the Crystarium ever. And I think maybe that's, yeah. Have you turned in your crystals lately? No. I haven't charged my crystals. Hold on. I just need a buddy to come over. We can watch Indiana Jones and we'll just charge up our crystals together. I don't think gaining a level gets you anything until there's actually another level to move to. I think it changes the like name of the job, or it changes the name of the synergy. But I don't think it does anything. And you can cap, and I might be pretty close to doing it. You get new levels as the story goes. And I got 30 more HP. I guess it's been a while. Crystarium equals shitty sphere grid. Yeah. It's weird because it's functionally identical to the sphere grid, so what makes it the shitty version of that? It just is. It's more obviously linear, I guess. It's definitely more anime. It's way more sparkly. Alright, I'm gonna be on my game now. I wasn't really changing jobs much, but I don't require them, or I don't remember them. I don't remember them requiring knowledge of that mechanic at this point. Like, they kind of make you get to where you're like hot swapping paradigms and stuff by the end of the game. But I remember there still being a snooze fest at this point last time I played, so I'm curious why I'm getting humbled a little bit. More ostentatious, yes it is.
Time to switch it up.
Maybe I need to have Hope put down Protect. Should probably also make it so Hope is the healer. Fuck. God! Getting it! Getting staggered in the middle of a cast is the worst. That takes up so much time. That gets you killed like immediately. Because she gets hit, and then she has to do the whole intro to cast Cure again. I need to switch my team around. Hope needs to be the medic. What the fuck just happened? Bro! Yeah, I deserve that. Oh no! Can't sync my files. That's Cocoon, I think. With the... There's a dragon, I guess, and a god... Is Shiva? I don't know. I can't remember the significance of the summons in this game. What's their deal? Why are they there? Because they're not the false... No, they're not the... Crap. What do they call the gods? Oh, I'm right here. That's nice. Okay. How about this? And then I'll make a Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ save me. Okay. Falsy? Okay, yeah, that's right. Falsy make Lussy. Lussy are their champions. Guess I can use another one of these bad boys. Warframes? Yeah, the summon fights were weird difficulty spikes. They required, like, functional and hyper-specific knowledge of some small part of the combat system. I think they were meant to be, like, basically skill gates before they started throwing some bigger high-concept fights at you. But they ended up not being that. Yeah. I think they were attempts to, like, trying to make a puzzle into the system, but like, if it's a puzzle, is it really necessary to time gate it?
Thanks.
What's to be gained by like... You change game difficulty in this game. I don't think so. Don't think so. I can definitely be wrong about that, but I don't recall seeing a difficulty select. But yeah, maybe if there was, I definitely would have picked hard. Frick.
Keep up with me.
I gotta fucking kill him. God. The staggers are just so fucking rough, man. You win Snow's Shiva fight by guarding. There's still value in just getting the player to guard. And like I said, a lot of this game presumes the player has never even played a game before. It's like, it does that level of walking you through the basics and kind of drip feeding you higher and more complicated concepts. So, I think they're really just trying to convince you that having somebody tanking is important. Getting you used to the idea. It's almost like how mobile games walk you through buying something the first time. They want to like lower that cognitive barrier to taking that action. There's a spell specifically for avoiding getting interrupted. Yeah. What is the name of it? Yeah. I mean, every problem I'm running into has a systemic and mechanical solution. What's I gonna do? I don't remember, so I won't. Alright, back to story time. Video game included. Sweet anime.
What happened here?
Why are they have boonie hats?
Bad luck.
Combat tactical boonie
Came
hats.
looking for us and found something worse.
We can't just leave them like this.
Don't touch anything! Control your emotions. If you want to survive, you forget about sympathy.
Be a hard ass.
How can I explain?
For Lightning's credit as a character, At least she was like a pretty stone cold hard ass for the entire trilogy.
Focus on your ultimate goal and shut out everything else. Still your mind. Move on instinct.
Shit your pants.
Let doubt take over, and despair will cripple you.
You have to shit your pants, Hope.
Good. I'll take anything to help.
Show me you're serious. Think of your mother and shit your pants.
I'll call it Operation Nora.
Nora?
My mother's name.
Your revenge?
Yes. Don't tell me. I know getting revenge on him won't bring her back. I know that! But sorry won't cut it.
Nobody laugh at him. He's sad. His mom died. She died.
Snow didn't kill your mother. The Sanctum did.
So he's gonna stab Snow.
What side are you on?
Don't laugh.
The side of truth.
This is very serious. He's gonna stab him with that knife.
I'll fight the Sanctum with you. I'll learn to survive.
It's very Shakespearean, isn't it? Like producing the knife for no reason.
How can you judge someone else when you know that you're the same? Even I have dark secrets.
Also, Vanille talking over the whole game
I'd
makes
rather forget.
no sense. Like, I don't think it's a framing device that's ever explained even a little bit. Although it is bizarre because something similar happens in the newest Final Fantasy XIV expansion. Though that, within the context of the game, makes a little more sense, though, given the character and their purview over things. Anyway, you just heard Vanille say some stuff, but now we're back to being Lightning and Hope. There you are. This guy is gonna kill a man. Or his mom. Put on his murder and chonglers today. Put on his crisp high tops and his beige blue button chonglers to go murdering. To go people stabbing. Yeah, he's gonna kill. Lightning, however, is a killer.
Back
I
me
guess. They talk about death, but they never talk about the main characters killing people. Like, murder is what the Sanctum does. I don't know exactly what verb we are doing to these people now, but I don't think it's killing. Isn't she narrating everything in past tense through later events? That could be. I guess maybe it'll make sense at some point, so I look forward to that. It's just another one of those things where it's a mystery established that doesn't have any payoff. I remember it being one of those like, oh, and that was about it. So.
Come on, like.
Did you never beat this? No, I beat it back in the day. I did. I remember finally beating it when I was on Christmas break working at Machinima. I was in LA and it was like the week I had off. I think I'd gone home over the weekend, so I had like four unbroken days to just hang out, play video games, and I was like, I'm gonna finally do it. I'm gonna beat 13. I remember, yeah, just max chilling at my desk. Yeah, it's all self-defense, of course. Made it to the last 40%. Everyone says the game gets good around. Made it to Grand Pulse, where you can go and kill all the sorts of big animals if you want to. It's open world. Now that was back in the era when merely being open world bought you a lot of points. You know what I just realized? This game goes open world about the same time every Final Fantasy game does. You can't go anywhere you want in the majority of most Final Fantasy games. So, it's weird that was held as kind of a sticking point. The game does kind of have a pretty serious transition though, so I get why people identify that as a moment of change or transformation for sure. It was just man. I don't know that the discourse around games has ever truly squared with what I perceive. I guess I should be clear. Like the actual comings and goings of oh, I had 69 CP for a second there. Christer, oh no! Okay, well, it wasn't crashing before, but it sure as heck is now. So, there's... yeah, Operation Nora! There is one thing I can try to do. There is a patch that opens up a pool of RAM for the game to use that actually makes it way more stable. When I tried to play it before, the game wouldn't launch. But maybe I just did it wrong. Or something. Or maybe I need to click on a different executable. Yeah, Liger, I definitely have 13 Fix installed. 13 Fix isn't the RAM patch, though. That changes an executable. And when I did, the game just wouldn't launch anymore. So I'll try to reapply it. To be fair, I didn't really find the README for the 4 GB thing, because there wasn't one. It just came with a patching executable. So now I have, like, maybe it's the Bitcoin miner that can't... I don't know. I'll be back in a second. Let me tinker. See what I can do. Patch successfully applied. Like I said, I didn't read the README. Or I didn't exhaustively read the README. I was trying to follow the directions before, and I hit a part where it was like, make a copy of the executable and back it up, and I was like, pfft, backups. No thanks. I live fast, die young. What I didn't read was the exact next line, which said, this is not optional. If you don't do this and rename it exactly this, the game won't launch. So, I didn't, and the game, and yeah. You know the rest of the story. Shit. I don't think I have the right... Back. No, that's medic. Nope. There, that's what I need. Let's get some protect.
Good call.
Anytime, Hope. Anytime, buddy. Anytime. If you feel like casting Protect, you go for it. I wish also that you could see life bars.
Here.
When you're selecting Paradigm. Interrupts. Oh, every time she moves, there's a different one chomping her. I don't remember the game doing that. Just like all the wolves taking turn. So you never get to move. You have to be able to move. Maybe this is why you need each person to be a medic. God damn. Ugh. I don't remember the game being like that. It's being that gnarly. Edge. Okay. Yep, debugging. This is it. No, Grant, I know you can fire a move off, like you can do that. And you can even cancel and keep your ATB like that. I'm aware of the tricks. That's not the issue. It's that half my party gets stun locked. Like I only have 2 characters, and if one of them keeps getting interrupted, why are you not kidding?
Here. Keep up with me, Hope.
I need lightning to be a medic, otherwise no one's never gonna get a cure off. Fuck it! God, it takes so long! Oh.
Control.
Waving her stupid hand. Cast the spell! It's so crazy watching your party die because you're actually waiting for an animation to play. Ooh.
Here.
Wow, that takes forever. You were so slow at casting spells. Yeah, Hope can't move right now. Oh, you got some spells off. I don't think I'm gonna get it in time. First! She had to take that extra little step. I don't know why. Oh, hold on. Let me waddle my way so my elbow's pointed directly at you. Okay, now I need to wiggle my hand. This is a fun game. I'm not representing it well right now. Nothing personal. Was she about to say nothing personal? Is there an item that reduces animation times? Well, yeah. I mean, there's haste, which doesn't specifically do that. It's more like ATB, but I mean, there's an item that gives me all sorts of stat buffs, which will get me out ahead of this silly fight. Man, I'm annoyed that she didn't say nothing personal. Okay. Aren't you supposed to implement your karate training for fighting multiple opponents if you can't move? Well, that's what's frustrating, is my combat instincts are kicking in big time. It's fight or flight, and I'm ready to throw down. The game is not being so kind. Yeah, this walks you into battle with all sorts of buffs.
Time to switch it up.
How is this different from other Final Fantasy games? I mean, there's many different ways. It's a different story, it's a different set of characters, different combat system. It's a different game.
Follow my lead. Come on, Light. Keep up with me, Hope.
Here.
Oh, Vigilance? I don't know if I have that yet. That's the thing, is like my tools are pretty limited. I do have Synergist though, so I can like I'm at least one wolf down, which is gonna help a lot. I'm about to get another one, so. Ow. You're going to town on him.
Keep up with me, Hope.
Oh, so close. Supposed to double Ravager this fight since their stagger is so low. I can't. They will kill me. I can for a while, but like when they attack one of my casters, I lose half my DPS, and there's 4 of them. Like they can effectively stun lock one of my characters until they die. So DPS cannon isn't necessarily doesn't seem like it's viable. All right. Yes, I almost forgot Lightning's dramatic speech about survival or whatever. Okay. Now I beat these people up. And it was after this fight, I think, that the game crashed. Again. But now I got so much more memory. 4 GB memory space. Can't crash it. Also forgot I could summon. I gotta watch my health bars a lot closer. Yeah, maybe this is like a section where they just expect you to go like Ravager Medic and just play it safe, take normal DPS, and just roll with it.
You know what to do.
Feels like a alpha of 7 remakes battle mechanics. Yeah. They are. It truly is. 7 is the closest. 7 Remake is the closest to 13, which, given how closely Square was positioning them business-wise at the time, is really just making lots and lots of sense.
Here.
This game has an easy mode. Well, good for the game then. Good. I'm glad about that. And it will continue to have an easy mode somewhere else. Professional gamers like me don't need such trivialities. I just did my own laundry. Right? Think I need to play on easy mode? Give me a break. Give me a break. Damn, see, yeah. You kind of need a...
That wasn't so bad.
I'm happy to say 40 minutes into 13.2, and I'm in a town where I can explore and talk to people. Yeah, 13.2 is way more lighthearted, way more conscientious of the player's time. It gives you more of what you will want in a better pace. Oh, Ebiyasha, thank you for the reset. Congress, thank you. Any of the goose is still hanging around. Sorry that you guys came in on a break, but don't worry. I think Final Fantasy XIII scared most of them off. Some people can't handle a gamer game like this. Fine, not their fault.
Hope. Follow my lead.
What's up, Gateway Pixel? Yeah, I was just joking. Time to
switch it up.
Just some jokes, some humor jokes. So, you know, Potato Man? Yeah, FaZe, I played Icarus with Bruce earlier today, which meant it was already like 4 or 5 p.m. here when I was like, oh crap, I should queue. And by then the line was like 8,000 long. So I was like, that's just not gonna happen tonight. Okay. So yeah, no Potato Man. But Potato Man is there, waiting. Ready to save the world once again.
Easy.
Interesting enemy design. Yeah, some of the monsters in this game are pretty out there. They're all kind of like... They try to... Like, 7 was pretty cyberpunk. It's pretty full-on, like, magical techno stuff. This game is too, but it's kind of even more on the magical end of things. It's like a slightly more fantasy twist on like techno anime stuff. Zach Cannon, thank you for the reset. Queue on Ultros is less than 100 right now. I mean, the queue on my server is probably not that long either, but it's getting late. I got a lot of shit to do tomorrow. I gotta be up early. Well, air quotes early. I gotta be up at a normal time. You keep in touch with Joel Hole, Harmony Grits himself. Yeah, we text. Trying to find time to meet up for a coffee or something so we can just catch up about life stuff. It's hard in this life. He's a family man. Oh, that's right. There's maintenance in 20 minutes. Right. There's also that. So it was only gonna rock so late tonight anyway.
Thanks. Time to switch it up.
It's like you're describing a Shadowrun vibes. Yeah, except Shadowrun tries to mix in that like low life aspect. This game is pretty sparkly anime. You're right though, on paper that is what I'm describing. I guess Shadowrun is like you got medieval fantasy into my cyberpunk, whereas this game is you got anime in my cyberpunk. To some degree that was 7, but yeah, they sure did dial up the anime a lot.
Come on, Light.
Never played MMOs? How does it not have space for all players? Because players have to be authenticated. Like you can't say yes to every single person who says I want to play this game.
Easy.
So merely, and it's more complicated than this, but merely the activity, it's like a door at a club. People have to get through the doorway. Now, servers can spin up different instances that can contain numbers of people, and that can be a little constrained too, but usually a lot less rarely than purely the transactional act of logging in, because I feel like it's a lot messier. It was a capacity thing? Well, it is a capacity thing, but the capacity is dictated by the fact that, like, it really is just as fundamental as games run on machines, and machines have logistical limits. One machine can only do so much. Load balancing machines is not something that happens automatically, and it's extremely difficult to do. Server space can scale, but you can't snap your fingers. To some degree, you can just like buy processing space, but it's not that simple for an MMO. Like, geographic location matters. A lot that matters. 14 intranet isn't cloud-based. They have to manually buy the racks, which takes time. Yeah. And truly, operating at scale like that, like you as a human being might be like, I would simply go to the nearest store and buy 5 PCs. What if you have to buy, like, you have to make projections, you have to allocate budget when you're dealing with like that amount of money, and then you have to find somebody who will supply them, and what if they don't get them to you on time, or what if they do arrive but they have this weird problem, or there's something wrong with the power supply to the building so you can't actually power all of them. And the contractor you hired to run the networking stiffed you on the cable quality, so it's there, but it doesn't reliably hold like the bandwidth it was rated to. Like who knows, man? The world's messy. One of the first things I had to sort of wean myself off of is the idea that machines and electric services are somehow more predictable or more constrained than every other chaotic thing on this planet.
Come on, Light.
Stay down. Follow my lead.
Global issues. They're turning developer instances into additional server space. Good lord. Yeah, I'm sure even just the scarcity of computer parts can make maybe buying server services difficult. Oh god. I have to heal off. God bless.
Come on, Light.
Thanks.
They do show you HP bars. Yes, they did there. Yeah, those things are shipped and handled by humans.
Odin.
I saw that thing charging up, and I was like, what is that gonna do? What are you gonna do? A little laser bike? What are you gonna do? Were you able to begin the Hacker's novel? Just barely. Read the prologue, and that was it, so...
Cut us a path!
Is that the motorcycle? Or is that motorcycle an enemy? It is. Yeah, beat him up. Beat him up, Dad. Oh, wait, that ends it. Ah, right. I remember there being like a this is when you play as them? Boy, I don't remember how the summon system in this game works. Okay, yeah. Then you get to do combos. Sure. Auto Gestalt, please. God bless this UI. Why not? Why not this UI, huh?
The storm is here! Until next time.
Oh, Hope's back. Okay. So wait, instead of using items, you can just spend 3 technique points or whatever, and it revives your party? What am I wasting money on Phoenix Downs for? That comes back way faster than you get Gil.
Something bad's about to happen.
How do you say it? Can't even reference Star Wars correctly. Ugh.
What's going on? This is it. Operation Nora.
You like him yet? You wanna buy a Hope figure? Hope in special Operation Nora pose. You wanna buy it? Wanna buy it?
Good call.
Fuck you, dude! Those were the two, like, those were 2 moves back to back. I didn't really have a move in between that. You just decided he would die. And he did, and he did. I don't, unless I was, like, actively healing already. Maybe I need a double medic paradigm.
Come on, Light.
I just walked up and did it to both people. Lightning is such a garbage medic. Can you buff, heal, and then switch to attack? Yes, you can. That's the whole idea. That is the technique. Reminds you of Vaughn on the likable front. I didn't have too much of a problem with Vaughn.
Switch it up.
I didn't want that. It's too late now.
Hope! Here. Follow my lead.
I was really depending on Hope to actually attack. Instead, he got hit. Yeah, he was kind of a nothing character, really. He was enough to get the plot started, but it wasn't really about him, and he wasn't the main character.
Keep up with me, Hope.
I think weirdly, I'm gonna throw this one out there. I think 12 kind of like led with that character because that was the expectation for how stories like that should go. That there should be like a young male protagonist.
Good call.
But I think it was pretty subversive writing. I think like it was like from a marketing perspective, you needed what seemed to be a lead in the game. But I don't think that was really the structure of the narrative. if anything, like, the way that 12 actually plays out is, like, Vaughn is who's... You see the world from Vaughn's eyes when you're at that sort of level of visibility and clarity on what's going on. And that's, you know, like, Street Urchin is kind of a charming way to see the world from the ground floor to start with. But once, like, the political plots start moving in, then Vaughn kind of doesn't matter. Fucking shit.
Come on, Light.
Holy moly. Yeah, I was like, if that got Hope again, it would be the same, like, 1-2 shot.
Here. Come on, Light.
I'm gonna heal one more time, Hope. This is how you very, very slowly work up a boss's stagger gauge. You have to keep rotating through commando to slow the meter, medic and DPS, while maybe balancing your buffs and debuffs, which is, and the flow of a long fight, making the wrong decision once or twice about what to do for the next couple of turns can't cost you the game, or can cost you the fight. So, when the system's at its... Oh, fuck. I'm the shit out of it. When the system's at its best, it does work really well.
Keep up with me, Hope.
This is what sucks, is when you, like, finally stagger. Why are you healing yourself? Did you really just spend your entire bar on your... Oh, my God. Oh, audience surrogate but unrelatable. Yeah, I guess that's true. He was just kind of a normal dude with normal dude things going on, I guess. It's really Ash's story? It really is, yeah. Which is kind of neat. Shouldn't you be using commando to launch it? If I could launch it, she would be. Unless you want me to manually use launch, which I can.
Come on, Light.
I can't now.
Follow my lead.
Wait. Commando doesn't have access to launch. I thought it did. I'm gonna lose Stagger, but whatever.
We got this under control.
I guess there are no more buffs to apply, so there's really no reason to go to that. Oh!
Time to switch it up.
Here.
Yeah, most of the time you just select auto and change paradigms as needed. I don't recall the AI ever really, like, being off about what to do in a given situation. I mean, sometimes it was. I mean, I was complaining awfully loudly about it not using Blitz when I wanted it to. But I honestly think that was kind of more on me. Fuck, I'm not gonna get it in time. It really sucks whenever that efflorescence hits both characters, and I really have no idea how to influence that. Like, I can't decide who he attacks. I don't have the, like, tanking and aggro mechanics that you get later. Oh yeah, that's another like part of the metagame, is sort of putting yourself in the best position to do a DPS run. As soon as you do a stagger, are you... What? Speaking of putting yourself in good positions. I was like, I'm gonna get some heals in before the stagger happens, and then he just decided to fucking kill him. Oh boy.
Keep up with me, Hope.
There, okay. You can launch when staggered. I guess you don't, can you not even... Oh, it just happens, okay. I don't like them being together like this.
Here!
I wish you guys would spread apart. You'll never guess why I wished you would spread apart. Might be able to get it. Might be able to recover in time.
Under control. Here.
The power of protect. All right.
Follow my lead. Time to switch it up.
Come on, Light!
Don't you ever talk to me like that again.
Keep up with me, Hope.
I enjoyed 15 for what it was, but I played the PC version, which was fixed to some extent. I enjoyed what was there, but yeah, I actually didn't go back after they changed the 13th chapter and added some DLC and stuff. So, I always meant to, because I enjoyed playing the game, and that was a good reason to play it again. Whatever story gaps they had paved over, there were gaps.
Follow my lead.
Oh god, we get the cure off, thank god. Whew, that one was close. I didn't one-shot this time. Yeah, that was real close. Also, if lightning goes down, I instantly die, so...
Here!
Oh, fine. What's your take on this game's combat system? I've heard it has no depth whatsoever. That has kept me from ever trying it out, and that the story's supposedly bad. Well, it definitely has depth. That's a pretty... Well, I can't blame anyone for thinking that because...
Stage 1 complete.
The game certainly presents itself as having very little depth. It doesn't give you a whole lot of glimpse of what it becomes. But no, the combat system in this game is actually really interesting. And and gameplay elements of it, I'm kind of just talking about this. Gameplay elements from it have been used in many, many games since. So there was a lot of good spontaneous creation in the combat systems used in this game. Truly. Like even something as simple as like the HP and stagger mechanic. Like you see that in things like Sekiro. So it was truly a really cool idea. And I think it did contribute to a very unique and spiritually accurate Final Fantasy combat system. It just doesn't look like that at all when you first start. I mean, just the appearance of a button called Auto Battle makes people think that the game plays itself, but it very much doesn't. On some level, it does. Yeah, and the Final Fantasy VII Remake stagger system. Actually, there you go. If you played 7 Remake, you basically played this. Just with the benefit of a few years of, or a decade of iteration. So if you liked 7 Remake, 13 will be your thing. You just can't move around, which does have implications. Oh. I bet there's more anime around this corner. But we're going to talk about feelings for a little bit. Here we go.
Hallam Poem.
Yeah.
That's where you live, right? We'll stop in when we get there.
No. We're Lassie now, and no one's there but my dad.
Hope, you need to let him know what happened.
This is still Cocoon. Yes. Back to the public execution, I guess.
Okay, time to hunt some Lassie.
So what, we find him and that's that?
Don't get all hot and bothered.
Sarah, am I doing the right thing?
Is it gonna flash back to earlier in the game? Oh, okay. Another flashback, yeah. Not early in the game, before the game. So, alright, catch everybody up here. Snow's fiance, Sarah, the diminutive sister of our protagonist, Lightning, is flying off with her because she has been marked by a weird cyber god. And in this society, propaganda basically has made everyone, like, basically if you're marked by a cyber god, you're to be feared and hunted down. So, Snow is trying to save his fiancée by running away with her. This is before the game started, though. So, they're trying to catch back up to why Lightning was trying to pursue Sarah, basically. And why Lightning and Snow don't get along. Although it's pretty obvious from a glance that they don't get along because Snow is a turd. How did she just happen to flop out next to the Mercury door? I don't know. I guess that whole thing is the Fal'Cie, I guess. The cyber god. So I don't know why he drove her to it, because it sucked her up. That's weird. Also, yeah, that thing just kind of appeared in Cocoon, and it made everyone freak out. So, the Sanctum sent in federal troops, essentially, to exterminate everyone living there, so...
I was too late.
They genocided their own people, basically. There's some brutal shit that happens, but yeah, it's sit right next to anime slapstick. It's really bizarre. Although, I realize, like, Final Fantasy as a franchise does have
hunting lists,
a lot of weird comic asides. Final Fantasy VII has some very awkward and bizarre and kind of quirky scenes that just happen, almost in line with like very serious dialogue. It just doesn't seem as egregious in this game. I don't know why.
I will keep my promise.
Radio Bum. I don't know that I'd consider myself a fan of Shin Megami Tensei. I enjoy those games. They always have great art and like fantastic music. But I don't know, there's something about just demons. It's all about demons. And the demon world and the demon lore, demon politics. I guess something about the mainline Shin Megami Tensei series is almost a little too esoteric for me to really vibe on hard. But people seem to be grooving on 5 a lot, which is great. I'm glad it came out. Glad people like it. Also, just the whole sort of system of talking with and recruiting demons never super appealed to me.
Fresh air.
Demons are cool, I guess. So? Pokemon are cuter though, and I don't even really play Pokemon, so.
You don't know? I thought you had somewhere in mind the way you took off.
I followed the smell.
What?
Oh, here she goes. I will say, out of all the characters that are hard to relate to, Zaz is very easy to relate to when he is like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about?
Just smells damp. And I think something bit me.
Man, those brows, though. She has been plucking.
Closest city that way is Palampolam. That is not good. I wonder if those two were caught in the net.
Palampolam.
What do we do? Right now, what can we do?
Right. No choice. We run the other way.
Zaz is the only character I remember liking at all.
Be to Nautilus.
You know what's bizarre? They establish him pretty slapstick. I remember him like falling and yelling a lot. He's sort of like shrieking at lightning for the entire intro, which I guess he has cause to.
As we set off.
So they almost establish him as being like the zany, pratfalling, goofy side character. He's got a chocobo chick living in his afro. But he actually ends up being one of the more mellow and believable characters.
Nautilus, road through here.
So again, it's this weird like...
We need to clear these woods.
The game like sets something up and then it's like, but no, it's actually not that. It's actually the opposite of that. Sort of.
Now, there's a sight I didn't want to see.
Because yeah, I agree in the beginning when he's, well, I guess fearing for his life and screaming a lot. It's kind of hard to like or empathize with him because he's always like Lightning's there doing like sweet backflips and shooting things and Zaz is like, you gotta calm down, and you're like, no, this is like the only cool thing so far. So you're not necessarily on board with him at the beginning trying to mellow things out, but these little globby boys. What are you doing, globby boy? Oh, look at your globby mouth.
You're gonna regret this.
What are we doing here? Saboteur. A Flandragora. Man, the difficulty backed way off. Vanille is a character, just, I don't know, find her intensely unlikable, which is worse than the game is telling you you're supposed to like her.
Change is good, Pops.
She's a distillation of the, like, kind of, I guess, manic, not quite manic Pixie, she's just Pixie. Kind of like Airhead Pixie. Except she's not, she just kind of sounds like it, but they keep giving her, like, weird, nonsensical dialogue. Kind of reminds me of, like, Mantis. Of how, like, we'll just click into talking or seeing something else. Like, stream of consciousness that's sort of played off as, like, isn't that quirky? Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, depressed girl Pixie. That's a good way to say it. And, like, her character arc ends up... And in Grand Final Fantasy fashion, there's a bit more texture there than just... She's here to be weird.
You going or what?
For some reason, Bimbo was caught by Automod. I gotta turn Automod off. It's getting prudish. I have it on like the lowest. I have it on. I thought I turned it off, but I guess not. Anyway, I was backtracking because I actually gotta save and hang it up. So, but good news is I got Final Fantasy XIII installed and patched again. So, Dopamine, I agree. 13 has some pretty great environments that have aged terrifically. I think that's the crazy thing. Like, granted, this is with a community patch that boosts frame rate and boosts resolution like crazy. It doesn't come like this. But, like, I didn't install any assets. It's just programmatic stuff. So this is how the game... These are the assets in the game, which is really, really neat. Yeah, I was impressed, too, when I first started playing this on PC. I was like, damn, man. And again, I think, in that way, does echo another hallmark of Final Fantasy as a series, in that it's usually very tech advanced. It's usually very high marks of like audio-visual fidelity. So the fact that it has aged this well is really impressive. Nice to see a colorful game. Node versus I agree. There's been some really colorful areas in Endwalker too, but Then I'll have to wait for another day. All right, let me see what's... So tomorrow's going to be a little touch and go. I have a dentist appointment, so your guy's going to get his teeth all buffed up. But I also have some... I have to do some reporting. I got to do some interviews. I got to do some real journalism tomorrow for a very special report on Inside Games. But that means that part of the schedule is not dictated by me. So I might have to work around other people's availability and stuff. So I can't be a little too specific about streams tomorrow. But I will be starting Halo Infinite, the campaign, alone, because that's all I can do. That'll probably be around 1 to 1:30. Depends on how some calls go. And then that'll just be in the afternoon, unfortunately. I got a dentist appointment, and then I got to write a script. I gotta put my news hat on, do some stuff. After dentist, I gotta write, unfortunately. But then that means the rest of the week is open, pretty much. Endwalker all day Thursday, if I remember to get in queue in time. Probably Friday too. And then this Saturday, I'm gonna finally go back to wrestling class, unless it gets canceled. And then I'm gonna finally tackle that other mission, that other master level in Doom Eternal. I haven't played it yet. And there's plenty to do in Doom Eternal too. I still haven't finished DLC 1 on Ultra Nightmare, so I need to put in some time, get the skills. Anyway, that's what's coming up. It's a very Lawrence week, I'll say that. JRPG MMO and Doom, and Halo Infinite's in there too. So yeah, quality time with Master Chief. Maybe I'll love Halo. Maybe I'll love Halo. How about that? It'll be everyone loves Halo. I'm sure I will. Okay. Thank you all very much for watching. Appreciate it. All the Bruce Raiders, thanks for hanging out. I know this is a weird game, but I'm finding it equally endearing and vexing. Uno Gumpa, thank you. Yes, Game Awards on Thursday. I keep forgetting. I don't know. I've divested. I've like whatever spiritual connection I had has been severed. But it's still fun to watch, and there'll be reveals, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna co-stream that. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great night, great morning, great evening, afternoon, whatever you got coming up. Hope it's great. Happy holidays, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, y'all.